2 young children, and you've got 15 dogs.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger is suing former client, 25-year-old Leslie Eberline, for the return of her dog, the pick of a litter, attorney fees, and slander.
Order. All rise. It's case number 114 on the calendar in the matter of Ranger versus Eberline.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Eberline, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
This is a breach of contract case. The plaintiff says that you breached a contract to purchase a puppy for money from her and give her the pick of litter from the first litter that puppy had. And the puppy was a Pomeranian, if I'm not mistaken. So I have a few questions for you, because there's no question that you did not pay for the dog. And there is also no question from your answer that it is your intention to keep the dog. You said she's become part of your family, and that you intend to have her spayed, which would not permit you. Now, your defense is that the plaintiff's running a puppy mill, and therefore she shouldn't be entitled to anything. So let's get to you. Who do you live with?
My fiance and my 2 children.
How old are your children?
7 and 3.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 3 Pomeranians.
And what else?
We have beagles.
I want you to tell me how many dogs you have. No.
I have about 12 beagles, Your Honor.
Don't.
That's not true.
Just don't speak unless I ask you. You live with your fiance and 2 children, 7 and 3. 3 Pomeranians. What else?
Beagles.
How many?
12.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear from you. Please, let me do my job. 12 beagles. And tell me what size house you have.
A trailer.
You live in a trailer.
Yes.
And where do these 15 dogs live?
The 3 Pomeranians live in my house, and they're able to go outside. We have 17 acres.
The 3 Poms live in your house, and the 12 beagles live where?
We have a large pole barn. I'm not sure of the dimensions of it, but they run in and outside.
Okay, and I would assume that the 12 beagles that you have, you sometimes sell beagles? Do you sometimes
Do
sell?
I sell beagles?
Does
No.
your fiancé sometimes sell beagles?
Yes.
Yes. And how many of the 12 beagles are puppies?
3.
That's not true.
Miss Ranger, don't annoy me. So we're dealing with, at best, a story of the pot calling the kettle black. You ever hear that expression?
Yes.
Yes. So you're complaining that the conditions that the plaintiff's animals live in, and you don't know this because you never saw it.
Right.
She runs a puppy mill. Now, what does your fiancé do for a living?
He does drywall, carpentry.
Drywall. You don't have any degrees in genetics, do you?
No.
Did you ever take biology classes in college?
No, Your Honor. I grew up on a farm.
No. So you breed dogs, and one of the reasons that you wanted a female dog from Miss Ranger is that you had a male Pomeranian who was 6 months old that you wanted to breed. So you don't think that 15 dogs are enough, along with a 3-year-old. You wanted to have a litter of Pomeranians. Had you ever had a litter of Pomeranians?
No, Your Honor.
No. Now, when you got your Pomeranians from about all 3?
Okay. A friend.
A friend. A friend whose name was?
Lottie.
Don't ask me. That's not a question.
I'm not asking you.
Okay. And when did you get the first one from your friend Lottie?
September 2018.
And is that a male or a female?
He's a male.
And did you pay for him?
Yes, I did.
How much?
$650.
Who did you get the second one from?
Celeste.
Who did you get the third one from?
I found her on a Craigslist.
And?
I'm
A female.
a female, yes.
What was the name of the person from whom you bought her? Name of the person from whom you bought her.
Mary.
No, I'm going to call the person. Do you understand? So don't give me the business.
No, Your Honor.
You're a hustler.
Her name.
You're a
No.
hustler. Hustler.
No.
When did you get the dog from Mary?
March 2019.
Is that a question or is that an answer?
It's an answer.
Good, then don't put a question mark at the end of the sentence.
Okay.
So you got that dog in March.
Yes.
How old is that dog? That's not a hard question.
4 months old?
Female.
Yes.
Now I know who you are. That makes my job much easier. It'd be easier? It's not easier. Gets harder. Because the irresponsibility that you allege I should ascribe in your answer to the plaintiff, who was running what you say must be a puppy mill because the dog that you got from her was frightened, etc. So far, I don't know how many animals she had, but I know that your fiance does drywall. You live in a trailer with 2 young children. One of them was 3 years old, and you've got 15 dogs, all of whom you either plan or have bred to sell for money. Neither of you, I assume, has any degree in chemistry, biology, genetics, none.
Your Honor, can I speak?
Yes, I'm dying to hear you.
I don't have a degree in biology or breeding or whatever, but I interact with my beagles, and I don't breed them for profit.
You mean you give them away?
Some.
Sit down. You know, if something doesn't make sense once you get to be my age, historically, you know, it doesn't make sense. For instance, Pomeranians are little dogs. Little children, not meaning to hurt little dogs, will pick them up, drop them, put them on a chair. Now you're 3 Pomeranian 3-year-old, and you plan on breeding them so you'll have more living in the trailer. Now, that to me, put your hand down, isn't smart. Now, we're going to leave you. I assume one thing, that you do not have any 3-year-olds living with you.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, you breed Pomeranians?
I have bred Pomeranians for the last 3 years as I had left.
You bred them for the last 3 years?
That's correct.
How many do you have?
I own 6.
When you sell your Pomeranian puppies, how much do you generally charge for them?
I charge $800 for the male and anywhere from $900 to $1,200 for the female.
Now, where did you get your 6 Pomeranians from?
I bought them from different states throughout the United States, as I wanted them to make sure that even though they are all papered, that they would come from a different state far away so that their genetics would be not
Did you check,
family.
Have any of the Pomeranians that you sell, because selling them from $900 to $1,200 is a substantial
Yes.
fee. Do any of them have champion bloodlines?
Yes, they do.
Some do.
They do.
Okay.
They all are.
Now-
They are all papered or AKC or
Well,
CKC.
a lot of animals can be AKC.
But they are from champion bloodlines.
Eventually, yes. So had.
Approximately in 3 years, I only have 3 female and 3 male, but approximately, because they are my pets, so I've had approximately in 3 years, probably about 6 or 7 litters.
And how many are there in a litter?
It can be from 1 to 4, typically.
Okay. Now, your lawsuit says that you and the defendant entered into a contract.
Yes.
And the contract provided, when she called you for a puppy, you got her name from a website?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And at that time, according to your complaint, you didn't have any very young puppies.
No, I
You
had.
won't-
I did have young puppies, but they were only male, and she
Male.
was looking for female.
And she said she wanted a female to breed.
Correct.
Curiosity, did you ask her whether she had any experience
No.
breeding?
No, but she had brought up that her boyfriend had beagles and that he had bred beagles before.
Okay, so they had some experience with
I guess so.
breeding dogs.
I guess so.
But she wanted this female to breed.
Yes.
You had a female
Yes.
that was 18 months old.
Approximately, a little older.
She's lying, Your Honor.
That's not true.
Shh.
Her birthday's
There's a-
April.
this
Her
is-
birthday's April.
Shh. When did you buy the puppy, Miss
I bought-
Eberlein? Month.
January 30th.
That's not true. She got her on the 3rd of February.
What difference? It doesn't make any difference. Please don't fight with each other. It's not particularly germane. And you were born.
April 18th or somewhere in the teens of April of 2017.
So she was about 20 months old.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And according to you, since you usually sell your females for breeding purposes, which most people who breed dogs do, sell them for more.
That's correct.
I know that from my own dealings with people who breed dogs. I tried it only once myself, and I realized it was not the right.
It's a lot of
It's not
work.
a sport.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
And not necessarily everyone is as cooperative as they promise that they will be.
That's correct.
I mean, in your house. So, according to you, you made an agreement with Miss Eberlein for $600.
Yes.
And pick of litter.
Female pick of the litter because they sell for more.
Did you have anything in writing with her?
I did.
May I see it?
Actually, it was over the Facebook instant message that she agreed.
Can I see it?
Yes. Right here, this third page. This is the initial contact, and then it just goes on a couple text messages through instant message, and she agreed.
I can read. Okay, so you bought the puppy, you agreed to her asking price of $600 and a female puppy pick of litter. That
No.
was the text messages with photographs back and forth. Okay, so if you say that there is a different agreement, I'm willing to look at it.
Okay, thank you.
What are you telling me?
What am I telling you with that?
Yeah, what are you showing me with that?
I'm showing you that we talked on the phone after the original asking price. So let's say you buy a car, it's marked at this amount. Well, we talked on the phone.
Just a second. So you're telling me you negotiated with her?
Exactly.
And what did you negotiate with her?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't have a problem giving Miss Ranger a puppy.
No. You can't give her a puppy from a spayed dog.
I'm not going to spay her until Celeste gets what she...
Oh, no, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger says former client Leslie Eberlein stole her dog. Leslie's countersuing for attorney fees, lost wages, vet bills, and harassment.
So you're telling me you negotiated with her?
Exactly.
And what did you negotiate with her?
She said it would help her out if I took Jules. She had too many dogs in Michigan because she was taking care of her sick mother. Her mother passed away. She wanted to move back to Arizona. She said she would help me out by getting me into breeding, and she could teach me things and help me.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
You breached the contract. Whether I believe you, which I don't, or not, you breached at least one term of the contract. You said you can have, according to your evidence, which is only one page, and I have a correspondence from the two of you with the other. According to you agreed to give her pick of litter. And then you said you were going to have her spayed. That's what you wrote in your answer, right?
I would like
that's
to...
a breach. That's a breach of your contract.
I don't have a problem giving Miss Ranger a puppy.
No. You breached the contract. You can't give her a puppy from a spayed dog.
I'm not going to spay her until Celeste gets what she...
Oh, no, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you.
Okay.
With your Mary story and the other story, and the fact that, according to you, a month after you got the dog from her, that you say was traumatized, and you had to take an awful lot of time to get her involved in your family and acclimated to your family, within 4 weeks of that, you got another puppy.
Yes.
You got another puppy. And you got another puppy. So I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. Now, I don't know what her situation is with breeding her animals, but if on your side I heard, we wanted a Pomeranian, I wanted a dog for my kids, I saw this dog online, I thought it was great, I took it, we fell in love with it, but that's not what you're saying at all. You want to become a dog breeder. You have no particular skills at that. Neither you nor your fiancé have any particular skills.
I thought I wanted to be a dog breeder. I do not. I was
You
going
mean
to try
since
it
March
out
you changed your mind? What did you
Yes,
get
Your
another
Honor.
female doll for?
for a pet because my kids...
You already had 3
Do you want to
pets.
see my pets?
No.
Okay.
I have no interest in seeing it. I know what a Pomeranian looks like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The other dog that you have is 80 pounds. You forgot about an 80-pound dog? I mean, are you telling me you just forgot about the 80-pound dog?
It doesn't have to do about my other dogs. This has to do about Jules.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dog breeder Celeste Ranger has accused former client Leslie Eberlein of stealing her female Pomeranian and costing her money in an attempt to get...
Is you want to keep the dog? Fine. Now, question is damages. What are plaintiff's damages?
No, Your Honor, I don't want her to keep the dog. No, she told me that she had another Pomeranian. No, I don't want her to have the dog because I didn't know this when we made an agreement, but she had a dog 4 months before Jules came along, and she had a Pomeranian, and she has an 80-pound blue heeler that killed her Pomeranian, shook it while they were eating, killed her Pomeranian. And then she has another one that has birth defects.
What's a blue heeler?
We don't have a blue heeler, Your Honor.
Some other breed of, I don't know, it's 80 pounds. I got text messages.
Yep. Did you have a blue heeler?
We do not have a blue heeler.
Did you?
I don't know what
Never.
it is.
We have a black mouth cur.
Okay, that's correct.
Well, just a second. What is that?
Old Yeller.
Okay, so that's a big dog. Okay, and that's in addition to the Pomeranians and the 12 Beagles.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, you left that one out. Did you forget about a big dog? You're looking
That's
at me.
my fiance's dog, and he had this dog. How long have you had this?
Don't ask him. I asked you, how many dogs do you live with your 2 children, 7 and 3, with your fiance, in the trailer where you live with your 2 children and your fiance, you have at least 3 Pomeranians. Now, you have 12 Beagles. That you said is his. They live in the other dog that you have is a big dog, 80 pounds. You forgot about an 80-pound dog? I mean, are you telling me you just forgot about the 80-pound dog?
It doesn't have to do about my other dogs. This has to do about Jules.
Your Honor, I didn't know about the big dog. I didn't know about the big dog killing the Pomeranian until the day after.
Listen to me. Miss Ranger.
Yes.
This is the problem.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
I can do either one of 2 things. I can give you you live in the same state?
Yes. Right
I
now,
can give you
I do.
an order that you can take to a sheriff or marshal, directing that you go to her house and pick up the dog.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
I don't know whether, I hope that would be successful, because I'm not sure about this group. That would resolve part of the case.
But, Your Honor, that's just not all.
Just a second. I can't do anything else but give you an order.
She slandered me on Facebook.
Listen.
She got me kicked right off for slandering me and telling me I run a puppy mill. And now my...
Listen to me. Or I can...
Yes.
I can get you your dog back.
Yes.
I hope, with a marshal who will come out and with an order for animal control to go out and evaluate the circumstances where these dogs are living.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Or I can entertain your case for money, for damages.
No.
You tell me what you want.
No money. No money for damage. No, I want the dog back because of what I've learned since the dog was transferred.
We will prepare those orders for you.
Okay. And can I seek damages for what I've paid for, like doing this for like months and months?
You've got your dog back.
I'm happy about that. Well,
you've got your dog back. We're done. Thank you.
Jake?
Boys are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Because of what they're doing in their home with 30-plus Beagles and the couple Pomeranians that one died, one's got birth defects, and she's planning on breeding with the dog that I had arranged with her. I had no clue about all this other stuff going on in her home. We had spoken on the phone, and it was a poor decision on my side. Well, I'm happy to be able to get Jules back as she was in her health and her life. And welcome home, Jules, and thank you very much, Judge Judy.
The relationship between us for the past year and a half has been very tumultuous.
There was no chance of patching things up.
She had sent me a text message telling me she's uneasy about getting back together with me.
You were angry.
Then, did he leave her deflated?
Do you have any proof that Mr. Condon slashed your tires?
I do not at this point.
This is the only point. This is my point.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Christine Morricone is suing her ex-boyfriend, Matthew Condon, for slashing her tires and disposing of 2 of her bicycles.
Order. All rise. It's case number 83 on the calendar in the matter of Morricone versus Condon.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Morricone, you and the defendant were in a relationship. That relationship terminated when?
Terminated on April, no, I'm going to say right after, no.
It's kind of an odd way of saying it.
December 28th, 2018.
Had you lived together?
No.
It is your claim that Mr. Condon slashed the tires on your car. That's one of your claims. On what date do you allege that that happened?
On April 11th or 12th, early in the morning.
So that was some 3 months and some days after you broke up.
Yes, he was in... Yes,
That was
yes,
some
Your Honor.
3 months later. Now, you didn't see him slash your tires, so you must have some other proof that he slashed your tires because Mr. Condon unequivocally denies it.
Okay. Well, the relationship between us for the past year and a half has been very tumultuous.
Listen to me. I don't care about any of that. That's not this. That's not this program. This is a fact-based court program.
Okay.
You allege somewhere between April 11th and April 12th that Mr. Condon slashed your tires. And it's not up to him to prove that he didn't do it. It's up to you to give me some evidence that he did do it. The fact that you had a tumultuous relationship with him for a year and a half is not it.
Okay.
Do you have any direct proof that Mr. Condon slashed your tires?
No, I do not at this point.
No, this is the only point. This is my point. This is the time that
is the return of the bicycles that he has of mine that he's refused to return to me.
So you're withdrawing the allegation of the slashed tires?
Well, the slashed tires was not part of this whole allegation. This allegation was for the bicycles that he has stored and refuses to give back to me. That's what the allegation is. And that was after. That was after he slashed the tires.
Just a second. You say in your complaint the very next morning after something happened, I woke up and my tires were slashed.
Right.
What do we talk about that for?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Okay.
You know,
well, you signed it. I didn't write it. Believe me, I didn't write it.
Okay.
Okay, so you stored 2 bicycles with him when?
In the fall of 2018, prior to him going to Florida for 3 months.
Give me the month.
November.
That's a question mark. Is it November?
November, Your Honor.
And the 2 of you broke up in December of 2018.
Correct.
Where was he storing your bicycles?
In his mother's commercial building, in the basement. He said to me... Yeah.
And they were stored in his mother's building when he left to Florida in November, and you were still a couple.
Yes.
Yes. And then you broke up December 28th.
On April 25th. He came back from Florida right before Easter.
Okay, so between January, February, March, and up until April 25th, you had made no request for the bicycles?
No.
Okay. And tell me how you communicated the bicycle request to return the bicycles on April 25th.
Via email.
May I see it, please?
Yes.
Well, you say to him, I want to make arrangements to get the 2 bikes. And he says, you told me to get rid of everything. Everything is gone.
That's a lie. I am...
Are the bicycles in your...
No, they are not, Your Honor.
Okay. I'd like to know when you went to your mother's building to get them.
Can I start off with some of her facts?
No.
Well, I'm not going to be able to lay out my defense?
No. Listen, this is not some Supreme Court case.
No, I understand that, but this is our breakup date. You know, here it is in writing.
Pay careful attention. I have an email from her in April, an email from you saying you told me to get rid of everything, and I did.
Here's a complete police report on April 25th, ma'am, if you'd like to look at it.
No. I want you to answer my questions.
Well,
this is my playpen, not your playpen. My playpen.
I get that, Your Honor.
I asked you a very simple question. When did you remove the bikes from your mother's commercial basement?
April 12th.
At what time?
In the morning.
Did you take anything else out of the storage other than the bikes? Did you take anything?
This is all that I had.
Just a second. I'm speaking. Did you take anything else out of the storage? The answer is either a yes or a no. So you just removed the 2 bikes.
Right.
And you have a key to the storage.
Yes.
And tell me what you did with the bikes on April 11th.
I brought the bikes to my residency.
And that is in what state? That wasn't Florida.
New York State.
New York State. And from your home, what did you do with the bikes?
I chained them up in the yard.
Is that where they remain, or did they move?
They moved.
To where?
They moved approximately 2 weeks later. I went back to check on the bikes, and somebody had gotten to the bikes and tried to steal them. So I put the bikes in front of my yard with a free sign on it because I had not heard from Miss Marconi in over 2 weeks about these bikes.
Okay, so now I'm going to look at the police report. On what date did you come from Florida, sir, to New York?
April 11th at 9 p.m.
Just a second. So it was.
I have an email.
Just a second.
Oh.
I'm
sorry, go ahead.
Did you, on or immediately before April 11th, request that the plaintiff pick you up at the airport? That's a question. That requires a yes
Yes.
or a no?
Yes.
Okay. On what date did you ask? Before you know where I'm going, your answer was yes. You asked her to pick you up from the airport, and you arrived home on April 11th from Florida. You landed at what airport?
Stewart International Airport, Newburgh, New York.
And what time, do you remember what time you arrived?
9 p.m.
So you have all that good information. That's
Oh, yeah.
a great thing. On what date had you communicated with the plaintiff to ask her if she would pick you up at the airport?
Ma'am, I don't remember what the date was.
Just a second. Just
Okay.
a second. Was it within the week?
It was in a 2-month period with which we were communicating on the phone.
Okay, so while you were communicating on the phone, listen, my question to you is, if you and the plaintiff had been sort of on the outs since the end of December and were communicating by phone, we all know when you come back, especially 2 months in advance. So my question to you is, on what day, within 3 or 4 days prior to your arriving, did you ask the plaintiff to pick you up at the airport?
I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
But I do have this, you do have to look at this email.
I will absolutely do that. On what date did he ask you to pick him up at the airport?
We made arrangements probably, I'm going to say around December 1st.
Okay, may I see the email, please?
That's the breakup date, January 10th.
Fine, it doesn't matter. In the scheme of things, it doesn't matter. I'm just sort of interested, Mr. Condon, why on April 11th you found it, which was the day that you arrived,
Yeah.
why you found it necessary to go to storage and get the 2 bikes and chain them to the backyard.
Because, Your Honor, I told her, we had a phone conversation after she broke up with me in a text message and said she didn't want anything to do with me on the 11th in the morning, on April 11th in the morning, out of nowhere, after we've been talking for 2 months, she had sent me a text message telling me about getting back together with me.
So?
Okay? But for the last 2 months, we've been talking on the phone about it.
Yeah.
So I told her, I picked up the phone and I called her, and I said, I would like you to get your things tomorrow from my possession. Otherwise, I'm going to get rid of them. She said, I don't have anywhere to put them. I live in a 1-bedroom apartment. Get rid of them. And that's
Then
what,
why-
so I
then
held
why-
the things
then
for
why-
another 2 weeks.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I
No.
held, this was the 12th, ma'am.
No.
I held
No,
the
you
things
didn't.
in my possession for 2 more weeks.
No, you didn't. They weren't doing anything from the 11th to the 25th in your mother's basement that they hadn't been doing from November to April. You were angry, and that's why you went and got them. You were angry.
No,
You got in?
I did. I told her I didn't want anything to do with her
No,
anymore.
anymore.
I have emails to the effect.
Well, that's fine. Do you have an email from her saying, get rid of the bikes?
No, I don't.
Right. Timing is just too coincidental, sir. And the one thing that you get to know when you get old, and you're not there yet, of course, is that there are very few coincidences in life.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When did you buy these bikes? Show me the receipts.
I don't have the receipts.
If you don't have proof, you don't have anything. The bikes are worth $50 a piece. That's it. Unless you have a receipt legally locking you out of your house, on which you paid no rent.
I did pay rent.
Well, off and on when welfare didn't.
Okay, it's still paying rent.
No, that's not you paying rent. That's me paying rent.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christine Morricone says ex-boyfriend Matthew Condon slashed her tires and got rid of 2 of her bicycles. Matthew is countersuing for the return of his belongings.
Now, when did you buy these bikes?
One bike.
Show me the receipts.
I don't have the receipts. One of the bikes I bought off of eBay, a brand new bike from a woman. I met her at Paramus.
Listen, I don't believe. If you don't have proof, you don't have anything. The bikes are worth $50 a piece, and he got rid of them, and he got rid of them maliciously. That's it. Unless you have a receipt.
I have
a receipt.
I have receipts of what it's going to cost me to replace them.
$100. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Excuse me, I got a counter plaintiff.
You got
I got a counter lawsuit on her.
Because you stayed over at the house a lot and she threw away some of your stuff?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Whoa, 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 Your Honor. One of these things are a medication worth $1,000.
What, the Viagra?
Okay.
He's a liar. He's a thief.
She's constitutionally incapable of honesty.
I deserve better.
I'm just glad that this is over with so I can move on with my life and be done with her for good.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hollingsworth versus Adams. Step forward.
James Hollingsworth is suing his estranged in-laws, Alvin and Judy Adams, for an illegal lockout, the return of property, and the return of his dog.
Mr. Hollingsworth, are you currently married to the defendant's daughter?
We're separated.
But you're married?
Yes.
And in what year were you married?
2006?
Do you have any children?
No.
In what year did you move in with your in-laws?
They moved in with us.
So it was your house?
No, it's their house, but their daughter lived there. They lived up the mountain.
In what year did you move into their house?
2004.
Were you working?
Off and on.
Were you paying the Adamses any rent?
Yes.
How much?
400 plus maintenance.
$400 per month. And who paid the rent when you weren't working?
Welfare.
How long did welfare pay the rent?
Well, I don't know exactly how long. It's all been broken up from the time I worked at the...
You and your wife are currently separated.
Yes.
And your wife remains with her parents?
Yes.
And you're suing them for illegally locking you out of your house?
Yes.
On when welfare didn't?
Okay, it's still paying rent.
No, that's not you paying rent. That's me paying rent.
Same
That's
thing.
Bird
Same
paying
thing.
rent. That's not you paying rent.
I don't see what that has to do with this now. They locked me out. I pay rent. They locked me out. They denied me my stuff. They kept my dog.
Just a second. When you live with your wife in her parents' house and you have a fight and separate from your wife...
I didn't separate from my wife.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You just told me that you and your wife are separated.
Yeah, she filed separation paper after I moved out. After they locked me out, actually.
Mr. Hollingsworth, you're not getting money for locking you out of a house that's their house that you lived in for you, rent-free.
It wasn't rent-free.
Mr. Hollingsworth, let's move on now. Let's talk about your dog. The dog. In what year was the dog either purchased or rescued?
He was born 14 years ago from his mom that I own too.
2 hard dogs.
Shh, just a second. And so...
I have a text message right here from their daughter saying, we can't afford to feed your dog, bring me money. It's my dog.
Mr. Hollingsworth, when you are divorced from your wife, the judge in court will decide whose dog it is. Right now, if it's your dog and you have been together with her since 2004, married since 2000, I have no jurisdiction. That will be handled.
True.
Yeah, it's true. That's what I'm telling you. That's the law.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to know what it is that you are asking for specifically back.
All my property.
That doesn't do anything for me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
James Hollingsworth says his estranged in-laws, Alvin and Judy Adams, illegally locked him out and stole his property, including his dog.
Now, I'd like you to tell me the last thing in your complaint is your personal property. that they can't take from you. When you left, what personal property, not marital property, personal property, did you leave in the house?
Everything. I didn't have anything. They locked the locks. I went home and they wouldn't let me in, and I have nothing. They kept my clothes and everything.
Mr. Adams, do you have any of Mr. Hollingsworth's clothes?
No,
clothes. Do you know where his clothes are, sir?
He left. He came back the next morning. He got clothes. He come back the second day, packed up his clothes, and
That's
left.
not true. I have a police report saying that they
And-
said I left in January.
We never talked
What
about
month?
Our
Did.
26th
Don't speak.
On the 26th of February, I texted him telling him that he was not allowed on my property unless he texts me, and he could come and get anything that he had left there.
He never texted me anything.
May I see that? Okay. Your wife's name is Lisa?
Yes.
On March the 9th, sorry to bother you, but Lisa's been putting me off all day. Do you remember texting him that?
Yes.
On March 9th? What was that about?
I'm trying to see my dog. And the police report right here says that they told the police that I left in January and that I took all my stuff with me. So which is it? Which is he not telling the truth about?
I want to know what it is that you are asking for specifically back.
All my property.
That doesn't do anything for me. You don't have any property that's yours.
Yes, I
If you've
do.
been married, listen to me, that's yours unless you tell me what it is. If you say to me, I have my birth certificate, my watch,
I
my
have
shoes,
a list of that stuff.
other than those things, that comes under the auspices of a divorce. Lived in this house for many years, according to you, when they didn't even live there, even though it's their house.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay,
I have a list of my personal property.
I'd like to see it. Then I'll ask item by item. Where are you living now, Mr. Hollingsworth?
Kind of bouncing between my coworker and a friend.
So they have your car?
They had my car. It's not there anymore. I drove by. It's not there.
It can't be your car. This is marital property, sir. It's something that a divorce court is going to take care
My
of.
name was on the
Okay.
pink slip.
Missing list of property.
That's all the property that I believe is mine that is not hers.
Okay.
Together. I didn't
Do
list
you
any
have-
property in this community.
Do you have either one of two suits, a Pierre Cardin suit and a Stafford suit,
No, ma'am.
and 12 pairs of black ankle socks? Do you have that?
No, ma'am.
They don't have it. They don't have it. I don't know whether your wife has it.
They
Did
do
you?
have it. They control the house. They told her not to give me anything. I have a text for that, too.
Mr. Hollingsworth, I suggest that you get a lawyer filed for divorce. A marital judge who hears your divorce will decide what of this property, if it exists, is marital property and what is your individual property. And
Whatever.
bye.
Why is that excused? Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
They locked me out.
She did exactly what I thought would happen.
I want my dog back.
That dog is a family dog.
They can't afford to feed my dog, but nobody's going to give him to me.
We had the mother and father of the pup when it was born.
Yeah, this is time to get a lawyer.
We want him out of our life.
You paid Mr. Shaw $1,500 for a truck.
Her boyfriend broke his promise,
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it.
but not before breaking his vows.
Me and my wife were separating. Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other. You were dating her at the time. I don't like you. Don't drink water now. I'm speaking.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner and her mother, Tammy, are suing Jessica's ex-boyfriend, James Shaw, for a truck, repair costs, and tow fees.
Order. It's case number 9 on the calendar in the matter of Turner versus Shaw.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Turner, this is your mom. Is that right?
Yes.
And she's only here because she loaned you some money to fix this truck. Is that right?
Yes.
You can have a seat. It is your claim that you paid Mr. Shaw, who was your sort of boyfriend at the time, $1,500 for a truck.
Yes.
To purchase. Then the truck broke down, and in order to have it fixed, your mom lent you another almost $1,000 to have it fixed.
Correct.
Then Mr. Shaw decided, according to you, to go back to his wife, and he took back the truck.
Yes.
So you want your money back. Now, Mr. Shaw, is this the wife?
Yes, Your Honor.
In whose name was this truck registered?
This was registered under Marion.
Who is that?
That's my father.
Where is he?
He's not here
Why was the truck registered in your father's name?
because this is my father's truck.
Had you been using your father's truck?
Yes.
Had you and your wife been using your father's truck?
Yes.
For how long?
For about 5 months.
Tell me the circumstances that you and your wife were using your father's truck for 5 months.
As of now, up to date, it's been 5 months. But prior to the situation, we weren't. Me and her were using the truck up until our separation.
How long?
A week at most. I was moving some...
Shut up. Prior to the week that you were using the truck with the plaintiff, who was using the truck?
No one.
Where was it?
It was at his house.
So how did it come about that your father let you have the truck to use with the plaintiff for a week and then let you and your wife use the truck for 5 months?
During the process... Okay, during the process of the situation, me and my wife...
That's a whole lot of words.
Okay, me and my wife were separating.
I got it.
Me and the plaintiff were dealing with each other at the time.
Not dealing with each other. You were dating her at the time.
We were intimate, dealing with each other at the
Yes.
time. So I needed to use the truck because I have epilepsy. I cannot drive. So I asked her to drive because she has a valid license and the truck was going to be insured. So she assured me during our relationship that she was going to take care of the truck, and my dad gave her... Okay. You wanted to know.
Is what you're saying your father gave permission to the plaintiff to drive his truck? Just follow my question.
Yes, ma'am.
That your father, who I will call,
Okay.
gave permission to the plaintiff to drive the truck for about a week because you didn't have a driver's license. Is that what you're saying to me?
What I'm saying is you asked.
That's either... Just a minute.
No. To answer your question, no. That's not...
How did it come about that you and the plaintiff were using your father's car since you couldn't drive? So the car had to be turned over to someone who could drive.
Exactly.
Who did that?
My father gave her permission.
But then the answer is your father gave her permission.
Not because I didn't have a license, because I'm medically inclined.
So your father gave her permission to drive his truck. What's your father's phone number? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
That your father personally gave the plaintiff permission to drive his truck?
You want the number? I'm going to give it to you.
No, that's what I'm asking you.
Yes.
Ms. Turner, is that correct?
No.
Did you ever have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
When we went up there to buy the truck, yes.
When did you have a personal conversation with the defendant's father?
March 2nd.
Tell me the circumstances.
In person, we went up there so that I... James, my brother, and my brother's girlfriend and I had gone up there so that I could purchase the vehicle.
Just a second. You, your brother,
Yes.
his girlfriend,
Yes.
and Mr. Shaw
Yes.
went to his father's house.
Yes, we...
And you spoke surrounding you speaking to his father.
His father knew that...
Don't tell me what his father knew.
We were coming up there to buy the truck for $1,500.
You met his father there. Very, very easy.
Yes.
You met his father there. The truck, according to you, was under some snow and had to be dug out.
About 4 feet.
Just a second. And had to be dug out from under the snow. You spoke to the defendant's father. It was at the defendant's father's house, correct?
It was at his Aunt Dorothy's, from what I understand. We met his father at an apartment building somewhere else and followed him to the place in St. Paul where the truck was stored.
Okay, so you met his father at an apartment complex. His father said, follow me, I'll take you to where the truck is.
Yes.
So his father took you to where the truck was. And then?
They dug it out, got it started.
Who dug it out?
James and his father.
And then?
That ended up having a flat tire need to be fixed. He had called his brother to come help.
Did you call your brother?
I called my brother every day.
Good. Did you call your brother to come fix the flat tire on the truck?
No.
Your brother never came?
No.
I have messages between me and his brother where his brother witnessed me paying cash because his brother was there.
Came and helped fix the tire, and then?
And then I counted out the $1,500 bills and handed them to his father to count.
Handed them to his father?
Yep.
Yes.
Because I was under...
No. I don't care what you were under. You handed the $1,500 to his father.
Yes.
And?
Because I was buying the truck from them. His brother witnessed it. He took the money.
You handed the money to his father?
Yes.
So what are you suing him for?
For stealing the truck after I paid for all of it, since the truck is still with them.
No, Miss Turner, you're suing the wrong person. You should be suing his father.
Well, I'm suing the person who has the property.
No, you have to sue
because he has the property that is worth $2,700.
No, Miss Turner, you have to sue the person who you gave the $1,500 to who didn't give you title to the car. He can't give you title to the car. He doesn't own the car.
Well, we have police records where we both take the truck to the police officers, and he tells them
Stop singing. Miss Turner, you have to stop singing. You have to talk. I'm telling you, if you paid $1,500 to his father has to give you the title to the car. You didn't get the title. He can't give you an order to go and get the truck because his father isn't there. If his father was there, which you should actually have sued them, you could sue them both if you're not sure. I can order his father, because he got $1,500 to sign the title over to you, but I can't give you an order that you can take to a marshal and get a car from him that's in somebody else's name. Do you understand?
No.
Yes, Your Honor.
She don't.
Well, I've just explained it, and she does understand now. I can't give you an order to take to your local authorities that say, I have ruled in this binding arbitration that she is the rightful owner of this car. I can't do that because he's not the owner. He, of necessity, unless he stole the car from his father, must be operating the car with his father's permission. Now, his father really shouldn't give him permission if you gave his father $1,500 and if that was for the sale of the car.
Yes, and his father refused to come here.
Well, that's not my problem.
And I have all the
Just a
proof
sec.
where I paid.
I can't help you if his father refused to come here. Did you serve him in small claims court?
Yes.
And?
And as far as I know, I never heard anything back, so I amended to take him off of it.
Well, then I can't help you. Owns the car, and you understand that.
Okay, and what about for fixing it after the fact, and then he stole it? I have all the receipts for that.
You have to sue his father.
Okay.
Because if you sue his father and a judge gives you an order that says it's your car, this is a stranger to that process, then you can execute on that judgment and go and get the car. But I can't give you the car because his father's not here. His father has a right to say, I never got $1,500 from her.
My father...
I didn't ask you anything.
I know.
I don't like you.
That's good.
I don't like you.
That's great.
Because if we're speaking morally, what you should do is if she, in fact, paid your father $1,500 for the truck or anything, if she paid him, then a moral person would say to his father, if he were a moral person, the right thing for you to do, Dad, is to sign the title over to Miss Turner because she paid for it. So I want you to understand, it's not that I don't believe that she paid. Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
I'm listening.
Don't drink water now, I'm speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What does an mean? What mean? And I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she didn't give your father money?
And later today,
I'd like to see where this went, this transfer of $5,000.
Well, originally I transferred it to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and take it.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Turner says ex-boyfriend James Shaw is driving a truck she paid for. James is countersuing for destruction of property.
So the right and the moral thing to do, if you were a right and moral person, would be to say to your father, I'm giving her the truck, and you can go and sue her for the truck if you want.
Okay.
Or, Dad, do the right thing. Sign the title over to her because she paid for it. Not for you and your wife to drive around in it. What does an up mean? What does an up mean? Just a second.
Okay.
Is an up mean, and I want you to know, I'm really smart.
I know.
Are you telling me that she didn't give your father money?
I'm definitely telling you she didn't give my father money. What the means was I was embracing your feeling and passion in it, because for me, it's not. And the water was because I was thirsty of listening to the she was trying to feed you.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me she didn't give your father any money?
Nothing.
Fine. Show me proof that you paid $1,500. Tell me where you took the money out, or you took it out of the bank. Just show it to me.
There's a bank statement where I took $2,700 out.
And here's the sheet of paper that he gave you.
That's the receipt of sale. They told me it was a bill of sale.
Bill of sale, but it's not.
The bill of sale of the forgery that she tried? The forging of the bill of sale. You might want to look at that, Your Honor. Who signed over a bill of sale with a purple
There's
pen?
messages where he
Just a
states
second.
he did not play about his dad's truck.
Hold it. What is this?
That's what they gave her, Your Honor.
Gloria? Who's Gloria?
That's my ex-mother-in-law.
Gloria is your ex-mother-in-law?
Yeah, my ex-mother-in-law.
So it's a prior wife?
Yeah.
Just tell me, on what date do you claim you gave him this money?
March 2nd.
Okay, why don't you go back and sue the right person? Got it?
Okay.
Thank you. We're
All right,
done.
Your Honor, hold up.
And
No.
at the time she does that, then you can follow.
That's great.
And you can file your counterclaim. We're done. Goodbye.
I have a counterclaim,
I said to
actually.
you, did you just hear me? You
No.
put on your listening ears.
No.
I said to you when she files her complaint.
I want to sue her now for damage of property and burning my belongings.
Just a second. Did you understand what I said? Without prejudice, for her to sue the appropriate person. If you want to sue her, you can. Goodbye. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I knew he was married. They had restraining orders on each other and were legally separated.
It's my wife. Of course it's going to change. You know what I mean? Who's going to step out on 26 years?
And was working on a divorce, but obviously not.
She burned some of my stuff, at least, what, $1,100 worth of stuff.
He went back to his wife, and he wants the vehicle.
She didn't make it too far with this whole suing thing because, you know what I mean, it didn't work out for her.
See him in court.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Flores versus Long. Step forward.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Mr. and Mrs. Flores, on what date did you bring a boat that needed repair to Mr. Long to repair?
I don't have the exact date. It was at the end of October.
The end of October of what year?
2017.
2017?
Yes.
And when you brought the boat to Mr. Long, according to you, you gave him $5,000 as a deposit to fix the boat.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see proof of that. I'd like to see where this went, this transfer of $5,000.
Well, originally I transferred it like internally to the checking account so that he could withdraw it and
Cash.
take it.
I took cash to Mr. Lane.
I want to see that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe say it again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, the other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Anthony and Andrea Flores are suing boat mechanic Michael Long for the return of a deposit, repairs, and property damage.
Right now, all I have is that a withdrawal customer on October 7th, not the end of October, but on October 7th, $5,000. And then on the 24th, I have transfer to share 0060, and that's all I have. I don't have anything else. I refer to you to do this work, is that correct?
Yes.
If you sent it to a checking account, then I would write a check for $5,000. to Mr. Long if you were giving him a deposit. Because do you know why? Because I'm not crazy. And it doesn't look to me like you're crazy either.
No.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So, unless you can show me that you withdrew $5,000 in cash and that he deposited $5,000 in cash on or about the same day, we're done here. Do you understand?
I can show you the withdrawal. I can't show you what he did with it.
Show me the withdrawal.
All right.
And explain to me why you gave him cash instead of writing a check. Do that explanation for me.
I gave him cash because that's what he asked for.
A lot of people would ask for it.
So there's a transfer. I think if I could look at that piece of paper, I can just show you just where it's just a withdrawal as opposed to a transfer or into a checking or into a savings. So where it's highlighted, withdrawal, see you home, transfer. So it was transferred. And then right up above it, the same date, it says 10/7 withdrawal. So that's where it was just a cash withdrawal.
Is what you're telling me on the 7th of October, you didn't give him for weeks. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I'm not buying that.
Well, I feel like he was off on the date of it. October 7th is the day that we took the $5,000 out. It was a Saturday, which would have been a day where Tony would have been able to drop the boat off to Mike.
Then you have another withdrawal transfer on October 24th.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
Well, I mean, you were asking for where I withdrew the money cash.
What I'm asking you is, you have two withdrawals in the same month for $5,000.
The other withdrawal could be, we took a loan out for the boat loan. So, I mean, it could have been just transferring it to savings, to checking.
Not happy.
I'm sorry.
Not happy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
It just doesn't feel right to me that somebody has a checking account and they transfer money to the checking account, which is what you told me before, that you transfer money from your savings to your checking.
To make it easy for Tony to get it all out at one time, yeah.
Right. And instead of writing a check to this stranger who he doesn't know for a deposit on work for a boat, he takes it to him at the end of October. Doesn't make sense to me. But since I'm not sure, I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You can go back to the local court where you came from and see if you can convince a judge that all of that is accurate. Thank you.
I excuse you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I had a boat worked on that didn't get worked on.
Yeah, it was blown up, and I did do work on it.
I went to go get it, and just the motor was taken out of it.
And I stored it for a year.
There were parts missing. I had to buy new parts.
And eventually, I pulled the plug on the boat, on the job.
Had a new mechanic put it all back together.
Ready to put it behind me, see where it goes.
It's ready to go on the water.
These two people wouldn't be here unless you owe them money.
I don't owe them anything, Your Honor.
A roommate is reminded of his debts.
Jazz gave me $300 for insurance, but that was it.
That's incorrect.
Did you pay your rent every month?
I was short in January.
He only paid in full 1 month.
And they won't let him forget a dime.
He bought a new car right after I helped him.
She says she gave you $200 towards the down payment.
She's lying.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-olds Judah Primacio and his girlfriend, Jasmine Vallejos, are suing their ex-roommate and Judah's family friend, Zachary Iona, for unpaid rent, a car loan, stolen identity, and ruined credit.
Order. All rise. It's case number 71 on the calendar in the matter of Vallejos Primacio versus Ioana.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
This, sir, is your cousin?
Yes.
First cousin?
No, distant.
How distant?
Actually, Anna, he is just a very close family friend, and we've been raised together. We've grown up together.
Okay, so he's a close family friend.
Yes.
This is your girlfriend?
Yes.
And you are 19?
I'm 20.
And you?
20.
And you?
18.
The three of you rented an apartment together. It was a two-bedroom apartment. You signed the lease.
We all did.
It is your claim that the defendant moved out.
Yes.
Yes.
And he moved out owing you money.
Yes, that's correct.
And he moved out to move into the home of his girlfriend.
No. He moved into his...
Who is now pregnant.
As far as I understand, yes.
Is that right?
She had a miscarriage.
How much after you moved into your parents' house?
About a month or two afterwards.
Is she still living in your parents' house?
Yes.
You pay your parents rent?
I do.
How much?
I pay $200 for bills.
What about the girlfriend?
She doesn't pay anything.
Why?
She just moved in after she graduated high school.
Well, let me understand this, Mr. Iona. The three of you moved in together, and as far as I can see from the papers of all three of you, you made a reasonable arrangement that they would pay 2/3 of the rent, because they're two people. You would pay 1/3 of the rent. Is that right?
Correct.
And you moved in what month and year?
October of 2018.
And in what month did your girlfriend all but move in?
She never moved in.
I said all but move in. I mean, she did get pregnant in your apartment,
Yes.
not in your parents' apartment, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in what month and year did she all but move into the apartment?
February 2019.
And that became a source of irritation among
correct,
you,
yes.
because now the rent should be split in half, because you have two people sharing your room and two people sharing a room.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Did you pay your rent every month?
I did, up until I lost my job in January, or December.
Well, so the answer is no. I
No.
didn't pay my rent every month. I had lost my job. So what month didn't you pay?
I was short in January. I was short rent.
Your Honor, he was also short on many other months.
Just a second. Did you pay them in check or cash?
I always paid cash.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. I have proof.
That he paid in...
He transferred to my bank account. There was only, I think, 1 or 2 months where he paid in cash.
Did you ever transfer money into her bank account?
I did.
So that was also a method. May I see other months?
Yes.
Mr. Iona, were you short other months?
Just January and February.
January and February?
Correct.
How short were you January and February?
Not too short, a couple $100.
Not a couple of hundred. I mean, this is a business.
Yeah.
How much short were you in January and February?
200 in January and 300 in February.
I have the exact rate. Okay.
So far, according to you, that's $500.
Correct.
Then there was a car loan. When was that?
December of 2018.
The same month you lost your job.
Yes, this was all before I lost my job.
How much was the car loan and who made it to you?
The car loan was for $13,000 at...
No, they. Did either of these two people give you money towards a car?
Jazz gave me $300 for insurance, but that was it.
That's incorrect, Your Honor.
Just a second. Jasmine, she gave you $300 for insurance, or she paid the insurance?
She paid the first month of insurance.
And that's also incorrect, Your Honor. Okay. Sorry.
When did you pay them back? So far, from you, I see proof of when you paid them back the $800.
I did everything in cash, Your Honor.
So you have no proof?
I have a pay stub from my $900 check in January, and I gave them the money.
Oh, who did you give the $900 to?
I gave $400 of it to Judah, and then $100 to Jasmine.
Did he give you $400?
No, Your Honor.
Did he give you $100?
No, everything he gave me was for rent.
Did he give you in February $100?
No.
Towards repayment of any of this? Did he give you $400?
No, Your Honor. But he did give us $100, but we had to use that towards his rent of being short.
So he gave you $100,
Yes.
but it was for what month's rent?
It was for January's rent, and it was going towards February's rent because he was late.
That's only $100. That doesn't stretch out that far. Did he pay you at all in January?
Yes, he paid us $100 for helping him out with the car, and
How did you help him out with the car?
we gave him money, the
How much?
$300.
Well, the $300 was for insurance.
We
Yes.
also gave him $200 for a down payment.
That's incorrect, Your Honor. I have the full down payment in my evidence right here.
Show me. I mean, you're going to say that it was a $200 down payment?
He
or-
bought a new car right after I
Just a
helped
second.
him.
Just a second. Are you going to show me that it says that you put down $200?
I put down $510.
She says she gave you $200 towards the down payment.
She's lying.
Okay. And what about you? You see, I have a feeling that these two people wouldn't be here unless you owe them money.
I don't owe them anything, Your Honor.
Well, so far, I have, even by your own statement, you owe them money. Because so far, you owe them $800, according to your own statement, and you paid them back, according to you, $500. He says you never gave him $400.
I did pay them back.
Just a second. Tell me when.
In January, when I got that check, I gave them the money.
No, I asked you a question. You told me you got the paycheck in January. It was $900. I'll show it to you. And you said I gave him $400 and I gave her $100. That's exactly what you said. Well, 4 and 1 are 5. Even my rudimentary math tells me that's 5. According to you, you owe them 8. So according to you, you still owe them $300.
They also have my bed at the apartment, which was listed at...
Who cares? What else?
It was a $400 bed. It's still at the apartment.
I don't care.
I gave it to them as part of rent to pay them back. They have it in there.
I don't care. Did you also continue to pay your car insurance out of her bank account for months?
No, I did not.
You did not?
I did not. She even got a refund from that $300 from Allstate.
That's not what I asked you, whether they gave her back the money. What I asked you was your car insurance, without her permission, continue to be paid out of the same bank account where she...
Correct, Your Honor.
Show me.
Okay, I have it.
It's so easy to prove. Why would you say not? It's so easy for her to show that the money came out every month for the car insurance for, say, 2 months or 3 months. She may have gotten reimbursed because she complained about it when she saw it, but that doesn't mean it wasn't taken out. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it taken out?
Yes.
So why can't you just say that? It was taken out. You didn't pay it.
I didn't.
You didn't pay it when it was due. It was taken out of her account.
That wasn't to either of our knowledge. She paid it the first month. That was all that was supposed to be paid. It's her fault for not stopping the subscription, and I told them also that
Your Honor,
they didn't want to keep repaying it.
You have a car.
Yes, I do.
You're supposed to pay the insurance every month?
Yes.
That's what it said on the loan. On the loan, it says you have to pay the insurance every month, right?
Yes.
So you have to write out a check, or it has to come out of your bank account. Do you have a bank account?
Yes.
Because you write checks. You would have to write a check or get a money order to pay for the car. So you know whether or not you paid car insurance for, say, the month of February. If you didn't pay it for February, you either were in breach of your contract with the loan company or somebody else paid it because they didn't cancel your insurance, right?
They did. The insurance got canceled in February. That's why there's no way that they would have kept paying the insurance.
So what you're telling me is after the 1 month of $300, we're out of her account again for your insurance.
Correct.
Only that one time.
Yeah.
I'm not reading all of this. All I want to see from you is someplace circled where the insurance came out more than the 1 month that you acknowledge that you loaned him the money for insurance. Make a circle
So this
on
is
the
where it
bank
was-
statement.
Okay. So this is where it was refunded.
Just make 2 circles wherever the money came out.
That's right here. There's the refund and where it came out on that.
Two months to Allstate. Is that who insures your car?
Yes, or who did insurance my car.
2 months. What happened in January?
I called them and filed identity theft because that was the only way I could get my money back. He doesn't even still have the same car.
You got your money back?
Yeah, the company worked with me, but I still didn't get it back for the down payment.
You have a check for the down payment?
I have another bank statement. And I have showing that he paid $200. Verbally, he said he'd pay $100. Oh, okay.
Shh.
Okay.
What month did you buy your car?
In December, ma'am.
This is January 30th that it was posted. The transaction was January 29th. It was posted in the date of transaction. The date of the transaction was January 29th.
Yes.
The day it was posted. He bought his car. Let me see when you bought your car. Did you get another roommate, by the way?
His brothers moved in with us.
Good. Is he paying rent?
Our parents are covering his rent.
I don't know what this is. Okay, so far, it is your statement that your cousin friend did not give you $400.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but did give you $100 towards the rent.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It was just mostly because I had people over, friends.
I did. I spoke up about it, but
They didn't like certain friends that I had over, and they wanted to kick them out.
he didn't care, she didn't care. I mean, in the long run, lesson learned.
Seems hit a really steep bump.
I can't even say how much I feel.
I hope to continue trying to talk to them after this.
How angry I am.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Can't always trust family now.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Owens versus Reed, step forward.
Gwendolyn Owens is suing Doretha Reed for the cost to repair her car after Doretha's son crashed his bike into it.
All right, Miss Owens, did your bike crash into your car?
Yes.
Causing damage. You were taking your son to school.
My grandson.
Your grandson to school. Was the defendant's son on his bicycle going in the same direction that you were?
Yes.
Going to school?
I assume yes.
So he was traveling correctly. He was going with the flow of traffic.
Yes.
And according to what I read here, cars were sort of going around him.
Correct.
Because he was on a bicycle.
Yes.
And the car in front of you went around him successfully.
Yes.
And you went to go around him.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went back in and you heard something hit your car.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was turning. He wasn't going straight. He was trying to turn around. That's how he hit my passenger's back door. Because it's in the police report where he tried to turn around. I guess he was going back in the other direction.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gwendolyn Owen says 13-year-old Donovan Jemison crashed his bike into her car while she was in the process of passing him on the road.
Now, the car in front of you went around to go around him.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went back in and you heard something hit your car.
Yes.
Is that what happened?
Yes, ma'am.
And?
I heard something hit my car. My granddaughter was in the back seat. So I pulled over on the side of the street, and the people behind me stopped. There were two people behind me. I stopped and got out.
Everybody stopped because the bicyclist was on the ground.
Yes. I got out, went to see him, and he walked across the street. The bike was still in the street, and we were concerned about him, so we asked where his parents were. You know, where did he live? He said right across the street. I ran over, knocked on the door to try to get an answer. I didn't get an answer. Went back over. The two witnesses were still there with him, and he tried to call home, and there was still no answer.
His mother took him to the doctor, correct?
Ma'am.
Just to check him out.
Yes, ma'am.
Unfortunately, he was okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you didn't sue her?
No, ma'am.
No, you didn't sue her for hitting your son.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Miss Owens.
Yes.
I've read these papers, and I, quite frankly, it's sort of incredulous to me that you think he's responsible for this accident.
Well, Your Honor, I also have the police report with the witnesses saying that it was his fault.
Just a second. I don't read witnesses' statements from a police report.
Okay.
You told me that you went, are there cars coming in the other direction? You see where the cars is? Are there cars coming in the other direction?
No, not at that time, no.
No. Is it possible for cars to come in the other direction?
Yes, it's possible, yes.
So it's a two-lane highway?
Yes.
So you had to go over into the other lane in order to pass him?
Yes.
And then you went back?
Yes.
Your problem is to make sure he has enough space.
I did make sure he had enough space.
So
Can I show you?
Yeah, sure, you can show me.
Okay. All right. This is my car here.
I understand where your car is.
All right, I had passed by him, okay? And he was turning. He was trying to turn around. He wasn't going straight. He was trying to turn around. That's how he hit my passenger's back door.
He was trying to turn around?
He was trying to turn around, because it's in the police report where he tried to turn around. I guess he was going back in the other direction.
Just a second. Stand up. Tell me your name.
Donovan.
Donovan, were you going to school that day?
Yes.
You were going to school that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Step back. And when you were going to school that day, you go in the same direction as you were going?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you remember what happened with Mrs. Owen's car being on the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the car?
Yes.
Stand up.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gwendolyn Owen says 13-year-old Donovan Jemison crashed his bike into her car while she was in the process of passing him on the road.
Were you trying to turn around for some reason?
No, ma'am.
Do you ever drive your bike to school?
Sometimes.
How often?
Not that often.
Well, prior to this day that this happened, when was the last time you drove your bike to school?
It's been a while, so...
Why were you driving your bike to school that day?
I was in a rush because I was going to be late.
So you were going in the same direction?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember what happened with Mrs. Owen's car?
No.
You don't remember?
No, ma'am.
You just remember being on the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there other cars going around you?
Yes, ma'am.
And did they successfully go around you?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you in the car?
Yes.
Stand up. Is this young man in your class or in your grade?
Oh, no. I'm about to be a senior.
And he?
Oh, no. I just be seeing him walk to school sometimes when she be dropping me off to school.
Okay. But he was going to school that day,
Mm-hmm.
going in the same direction you were?
Yes.
Okay. You were facing forward, so you didn't see what happened in the rear of you.
Oh, no. But, like, he was cars for us, and then he hit the back door. And then that's when she pulled over and stopped to make sure.
Just a second. The back passenger door?
Yes.
Right, which is when you would be going past him. Yeah, Miss Owens, you're lucky Miss Reed didn't sue you, and you're lucky he wasn't injured.
Well, I also have text messages where she said that she would pay for the damages.
Well, if she wants to pay for them, that's fine. If she voluntarily, I would not order her to pay for the damages. You passed a biker. It's your responsibility in a car to make sure you have plenty of clearance with that biker.
I had plenty of
Well,
clearance.
clearly
he
not.
He turned to turn around to go in the other direction. The
No,
police
that's-
report also has stated that.
Just a second. That's ridiculous. He was going to school, and he was going in the same direction you were going to drop your grandson off at school. So there would be no reason for him to turn around.
Well, for some reason, he did turn around. Because you can even tell by the pictures
Can I
of where
see
my
the police
car was
report?
hit.
I know where your car was hit. Your car was hit on the back passenger side. It collided with him. And if he was injured, his mother would sue you. I don't see any statements of witnesses here.
It's at the bottom, Brian.
Are you talking about this?
Yes.
This narrative? Sorry, that's not a witness's statement. The policeman wasn't there. This is a synopsis of what somebody told a police officer.
And that's his name at the bottom.
I don't know that that was the statement of the witness. That's what the police officer's summary is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
My responsibility is to say, whose fault is it when somebody is on a bike and somebody passes the biker? And I see no logic for this young man trying to turn around when the school was in the same direction you were going in. And it's just as easy for me to assume that you cut in too fast. Well, I don't know that, and he doesn't remember. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. You were lucky his mother didn't sue you.
Everybody, excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Because they hit my car and they were turning around.
Oh, my God, it was very frightening. I thought he was really hurt.
The police knocked on the parents' door trying to get them up to come see about their child.
And I ran downstairs and ran outside to go see if he was okay.
She said that she would make arrangements to pay by May the 20th.
I actually got pushed into saying that she basically bullied me into it.
I'm glad he wasn't hurt, but my car is still damaged.
Share that road.
As was for fun of the sun.
We planned a trip to go to Miami. It was supposed to be $800 for each of us to go.
Now,
You got the money, you bought the ticket. You had this argument, and she didn't go.
a family's in for a stormy future.
Your cousin accused you of stealing $2,600.
I said, let them all take a lie detector test. I'll pay for it.
The test results were negative.
Yes, it was negative.
I wouldn't want to go with you on vacation either.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michelle Marshall is suing her cousin, Mia Coleman, for a refund for an airline ticket, the cost of a lie detector test, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 73 on the calendar in the matter of Marshall versus Coleman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Marshall, Miss Coleman is your cousin. You were planning a trip somewhere. According to you, you gave her money for that trip. About the same time, your cousin accused you of stealing about $2,600 from her. Well, she suggested that it could have been you. It caused a great deal of friction. Someone suggested that a polygraph test took the polygraph test and passed it. She would pay for it. You took the polygraph test. According to you, you passed it. You showed it to her. You said you wanted to pay for it.
No.
Well, that's what you're suing her for, to pay for the polygraph test. That's another thing you're suing her for. And harassment and defamation for accusing you. So let's just get to the ticket. How much was the ticket and where were you going?
We were planning a trip to go to Miami.
And you gave her money? How much?
First, I gave her $700, and then later on, I gave her $100. It was supposed to be $800 for each of us to go.
Did she give you the $800?
No.
How much did she give you?
She gave $800 to Lashana.
Who was that?
And we also gave Lashana our booth money for the...
Did you give the money to her?
No, she gave it. It was given to me.
Handed to you?
Yes, it was handed to me.
Stand up. What did you do with it? Don't go over here. She handed it to you.
She hands me the money, and my cousin asked me, do you want me to put it up for you? And I said yes, and she put
So then
my
you
money.
gave, just a second, so that you gave the money to the defendant.
I gave the money to the
Fine.
defendant. It was a reimbursement, Judge. The tickets were bought on February the 19th.
I don't care what it was. She paid for her ticket. She didn't go.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
We don't have to make this into a Supreme Court case. It's not a Supreme Court case.
Right. Yeah.
You got the money, you bought the ticket. You had this argument, and she didn't go. She wants her money back. Refundable. That's what I read in your answer. That's what you said. So don't say no. That's what you wrote in your answer.
Yeah.
Well, you were shaking your head no.
Oh, no, I said yeah.
No, you were shaking your head no. Sit down, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were you supposed to go by air?
Yes.
And were you staying at a hotel? Was there a package?
It was supposed to be a package, yes.
It was a package. Okay. Did you go to Miami? Miss Coleman, did you go to Miami?
Oh, yes, I thought you talked to her. Yes, I went to Miami.
Again, you shook
I'm
your
sorry.
head no.
Yes, I went to Miami.
Okay.
But she didn't go because she didn't want to
ask you a question. There's no question before you.
Oh, okay. Yes, I went to Miami.
You went to Miami?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened to her ticket?
It was non-refundable due to the fact that money got...
Just a second. It was a non-refundable ticket?
Yes.
Did they tell you it was a non-refundable ticket?
Yes.
When did they tell you it was a non-refundable ticket?
March 17th.
And when was the trip scheduled?
This trip was scheduled for May 17th.
Okay, so they told you 2 months in advance that the ticket was non-refundable. So what do you want me to do?
I wanted my money back, or I wanted information about the ticket so I can go somewhere else. I asked for information of the airline and everything, and they didn't give me nothing.
Oh, do you have all the information for her?
Yes, which she never asked for.
Just a second. All I have to do is say it's a non-refundable ticket, and you can't change it. That's all. Can I see it, please?
Here you go.
Okay, the ticket was a non-refundable ticket.
I didn't see that.
Here you go. Would you hand that to her? I'd like her to see it.
I asked for this, and I never received it.
Okay.
This doesn't have a date or nothing on here, but I see it says non-refundable.
How much was the airline ticket?
I think it was like $651.
And she gave you a total of $800.
Mm-hmm.
What was the other money for?
For the room. You know,
she didn't use the room.
Okay, what happened was Lashana bought the tickets February 15th. March 14th, me and Michelle gave Lashana back her money. Michelle and I and Lashana already discussed about buying the room and everything together, so that's why she gave me extra money for the room. I have all the texts right here.
I don't want to see the text.
Okay.
So far, you owe her $159. You don't owe her for the airline, just for the room.
Okay.
She didn't go. And she didn't go because...
Because she didn't want to go.
Well, she didn't. I could understand that. I could understand that. You accused her of stealing.
Oh, no, I didn't. I have those texts, Judge. I didn't accuse her. I didn't accuse neither one of them.
Okay.
I have one, too.
Good. Put it down. I read your answer. The next day, I discovered I was missing $2,600 of my hard-earned money. I didn't want to blame either of them, but I let them know that the money didn't walk away on its own. After that, Michelle distanced herself from me and started telling all of her family that I accused her of stealing from me. I never accused her, but she showed a very... At that point, I knew she had to be the one that took my money. So that's what you wrote.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just say. So that's what you wrote, and that's what you swore to.
After months
That's
of her
don't try to talk over me. That doesn't usually work. So I wouldn't want to go with you on vacation either. Now, let's get to the polygraph test. So when did you discuss a lie detector test, Ms. Coleman?
What had happened was Michelle's mother said that they all should take a lie detector test.
Good.
I said, okay, let them all take a lie detector test. I said we can, all three of them go at one time with my questions. I'll pay for it. Then I text my Auntie Mary and I asked her the number to the man, which I have the text right here, and she gave me his number. I called him. He stated that Michelle already
Don't tell me what he stated.
Oh.
What he stated is hearsay.
Oh, okay. Well, she already had an appointment for tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Did you go?
They didn't want me to go.
Did you go?
No, they didn't want me to go.
How do you know that?
Because my auntie got
Just a second. You have a whole bunch of texts there. Do you have text there where you say, listen, I understand you're having a polygraph test. I want to go. And they say, we don't want you to be there. Do you have a text that says that?
I think my auntie said that verbally.
Okay.
And then I text the man my questions, and he never did reply, and then he switched my questions.
Just a second. Did you ever tell her you didn't want her to go?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yes. They weren't my questions. I don't know.
Yes, it was negative.
It was negative. And how much was the test?
$325.
Who else went for the test?
Just me.
Okay. We have counterclaim, money owed for a concert ticket. How much was the concert ticket?
$147.
When was it for?
I don't know what concert.
I don't want you to interrupt her.
The concert was on 122.
January 22nd?
Yes.
What are you talking about? This all started in March.
No, that's okay. That's why you have to understand.
No, I'm not going back to history.
No, what
concert ticket.
Here you go.
Did you buy concert ticket for the plaintiff?
Yes.
Did you buy? That's a yes.
Yes.
And it was $147.
Yes.
When was the concert scheduled?
April 19th. I thought you said what day were the tickets bought on.
On April 19th?
Yes, that's when the concert was.
And she didn't go with you because that was after all this happened?
Yeah, after she decided to push herself away.
After all this happened, she did not go to the concert, but you had already purchased the ticket for her. Miss Marshall, did you know that your cousin had purchased the ticket for you?
I do not know what concert she's talking about.
Tell me what concert. Tell me what
the
concert.
Snoop Dogg concert.
Just a second. What concert you were all going to?
The Snoop Dogg concert.
And you had discussed that together?
Yes.
Tell me when you had discussed that together.
Probably sometime in January.
Do you recall that, Miss Marshall? Just be careful. Do you recall discussing going to the Snoop Dogg concert?
Talking about it, yes.
Okay. I'm going to deduct $147. Did you give her the ticket, by the way?
No.
No, just a second. Did you give... Listen, it's a confusing, very uninteresting case. So let me get through it so that I can get back to my gin game. Did you give her the ticket?
No, she distanced herself.
Just a second.
No.
The answer is then you don't get the money back. You mail her the ticket.
How if she distanced herself?
I don't care if she distanced herself. She's not paying you for the... Listen, you're looking at your papers, not paying attention. That's why you're going to lose.
I'm listening to you, Judge.
That's why you're going to lose. Listen to me. If you had mailed her the ticket that you bought her and said, listen, you want to go, go. You want to send somebody else? Fine. You want to try to sell the ticket? Fine. I'm not interested that she distanced herself.
Even if she said, I'm not going to the Snoop Dogg concert now, I have the texts. She's not going now. The tickets were already bought.
Text is not plural. What you do is send her the ticket. Put your hand
She didn't give me
down.
the money by then. LaShawna bought the tickets. We were supposed to reimburse her money on the ticket. She didn't give us our money. I'm always the collector in situations.
But
she
hands
didn't give
down,
us no money.
hands down. Then take somebody else or sell the ticket. Take somebody else or sell the ticket. $474. Do you have any other thing in your counterclaim?
Yes,
come on, fast.
My counterclaim is about me and my children. Michelle has been slandering my name all over Facebook to my family. She's saying that I said that she took my money when I never did. I told them I don't know which one of them took my money.
Okay,
I have
$447. Judgment for the plaintiff. Counterclaim's dismissed.
Judge Judy,
we are done.
What about her talking about my children?
We are
Judge Judy,
we're finished.
Even her daughter's father said something about my son's mental health. Are you serious?
Serious.
Judge.
Ma'am.
I never accused neither one. What happened was I had a conversation with both of them. I said, I don't know if you stole it, I don't know if you stole it.
I don't even believe the money was missing. I believe it was all just a scam to get me for my money and they can go to the trip.
At the Snoop Dogg, Miami, we already didn't pay for all of this. I can't go. I'm not messing with you guys anymore.
It's terrible sad. I am truly hurt by that.
It's no more relationship. It's no more relationship.
This came about.
Never trust family. Never trust family again.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Porter versus Clark. Step forward.
Whitney Porter is suing her ex-boyfriend, Trendle Clark, for late fees, stolen money, and damaged property.
Miss Porter, it is your claim that Mr. Clark, who was an old friend of yours, called you one evening. What was the date of that call?
May 2nd.
And he needed a place to sleep because he was a little drunk. Where had you been?
I was at work. I wasn't drunk.
So why didn't you go home?
It was too far of a ride.
Had you ever slept at Miss Porter's before?
Yes.
Prior to May 2nd of this year, when had you slept at her house before?
Probably a few months before that.
So you usually drive home from work?
Yeah, if it's close, yeah.
Well, your house doesn't move, does it?
Nah.
Does your workplace move?
No.
Well, if your workplace doesn't move and your house doesn't move, then it's the same distance all the time. So why sometimes do you sleep over and sometimes not?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You went to pay the rent, and the $525 was missing from your purse.
Yes, ma'am.
So there were only two people who could have taken that money. One was your daughter, and one was Mr. Clark.
Yes.
You want to stand up?
Whitney Porter says ex-boyfriend Trendle Clark stole money from her purse and ruined her futon.
So why sometimes do you sleep over and sometimes not?
Just felt like stopping at the time and just staying over there.
What kind of work do you do?
Construction work.
Was May 2nd a weekday or a weekend?
Weekend.
So it must have been a Friday.
Yes.
What time did he get to your house on Friday night?
It was like 2 or 3 o'clock that morning. He called me.
2 to 3 in the morning. Well, what kind of construction do you do?
Working on houses. Later, I got 2 jobs. I could security guard that night. So after I got done doing my job at the security job, I just called her instead of going home.
Where were you working security?
At a club, nightclub.
And what time does it close?
4.
So you left early?
Yeah, about 3.
Was the door open for you, or did she open the door?
It was open.
And you went to sleep on the futon. Where did you sleep?
In the bed.
With whom?
With her.
Had you done that before?
Yes.
Did you ever sleep on the futon?
No.
Who do you live with?
I live with me and my 2 children.
How old are they?
13 and 4.
13 is?
My daughter.
What's her name?
Tatiana.
Mr. Clark, how long have you known the plaintiff?
Long time, since we were kids.
How often do you have a sleepover?
Every once in a while.
Ms. Porter says that you took some money from her wallet.
I don't know nothing about no money.
Okay. This is your claim, Ms. Porter. You claim that he slept on your futon and damaged it, and you claim that he took money that you had put away for rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you work?
Yes.
For whom?
Mobile Link is Cricket. It's a cell phone company.
When had you cashed your daughter's check?
It was cashed the night before.
And she gets that check every month?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
She's been getting it since she was about 5 or 6.
Is your daughter in regular school?
Yes.
How much cash was in your purse?
It was exactly $525 in my purse.
After you drove your son to school, came back, and according to your complaint, you went to pay the rent, and the $525 was missing from your purse.
Yes, ma'am.
So there were only 2 people, really,
yes,
who could have taken that money. One was your daughter, and one was Mr. Clark.
Right.
Has Mr. Clark ever taken money from you before?
No.
You have this sort of arrangement with him periodically, where he stays over? I believe him, you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine, that's enough. You don't have to say anything. And the person who told you that she saw Mr. Clark rifling through your purse was your daughter?
Yes.
You want to stand up?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I never even talked to you again after you told me you was gonna give me your check on Wednesday.
I want to know why you haven't spoken to each other. Leaving you less, Mr. Clark.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Whitney Porter says ex-boyfriend Trendle Clark stole money from her purse and ruined her futon.
How did you get to school that day?
My mom.
That was after she took your brother to school?
Yes.
How far is the ride?
Like 10 miles or something like that.
So you were in the car with your mother for a while?
Yes.
And you had plenty of opportunity to tell your mother that when she was out taking your brother to school, you saw Mr. Clark going through her purse?
Yes.
Later told your mother. How much later?
I went to school and I was thinking about it. Like, should I tell my mom?
Well, that's something that you tell your mom immediately as soon as you see it happen. And then she goes in the car. She's in the car with you, taking you to school, right?
No, I was thinking, like, why would he take my mom money? And my mom been through so much with him. And I was just confused.
Okay, you can have a seat. Other than your daughter's testimony, do you have any other proof that Mr. Clark took your money?
No.
Not enough for me. It's not enough for me. You understand why?
No.
Well, it's easy. There were 2 adults in the house. Mr. Clark, who you've known for how many years?
Since we were
right?
But who else will take it?
Your daughter.
My daughter's not going to take my money.
I don't know that. You see, I don't know. And if there's an I don't know at the end of a question that I have, then I can't find Mr. Clark guilty of taking your money. There are certain things that I do know. I know that Mr. Clark denies taking your money.
But he also told me on the phone that he's going to pay me my money back or that following Wednesday when he got paid.
Did you say that to her?
I said I would help her out, just being a kind person that I am. Yes, I did say that.
No, let's go back. She called you on the phone, and what did she say to you?
She said the money's missing, and I told her that I don't know nothing about whatever money that's missing.
Did Mr. Clark say, I don't know anything about whatever money is missing? Did he say that to you?
He said, I don't know, but I'll help you. I'll give you some money, some of your money back on Wednesday when I get paid. Those was his words. So, you know, that's basically letting me know that
Well, no, there's a word back there. Did you use the word back?
No.
Well, tell me about the conversation then, Mr. Clark.
She just called me, said the money's missing, well, I need help paying the rent. I said, okay, well, when I get paid, I can help you out. That's all I can do, because I can't do nothing else. I don't have your money. And that was it. Offering to help her out, to help her with her bills, so she wouldn't lose her house.
But I also haven't heard from him since then. Like, he has not brung the money or nothing. I have not been able to get in touch with him or nothing. He don't answer.
Well, it's getting more convincing to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, if you said, I'll help you out with my next paycheck, and this was May 2nd, did you help her out with your next paycheck?
Nah.
Why?
I called her and just left her alone.
What do you mean you called her?
I called her back after she called me, and I just left her alone after the situation where she had said she already paid her rent. She already took care of it.
Who told you she took care of it?
She did.
Did she say how?
No.
How did you take care of your rent?
I got help from the agencies that help you with your rent, but I never told you that. I never even talked to you again after you told me you was gonna give me your check on Wednesday. So how could I have called you back and told you that?
Now, don't speak to each other. You speak to me. I want to know why you haven't spoken to each other since then.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm believing you less, Mr. Clark. $525 was taken?
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
While you are excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She knew it wasn't right. She knew I didn't take the money. She knew exactly what was going on.
I mean, I know he took my money. There was no other person, my daughter.
And I just left her alone at that.
Because he thinks that I have money and I don't have money. And that's just what he do.
Yeah, to be a thief, I've been knowing it for a long time, but it's over with. I ain't got nothing else to deal with it.
I just hope that we just keep our distance like we've been doing.
It's still gonna be the same. I ain't worried about it. It ain't gonna hurt me.
No more late night calls.
A mom dumps her kids at a daycare.
You left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months.
They're your children.
The next thing she ditched was the bill.
How much money did you give Miss Hunsicker for taking care of your children?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that.
That's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if he was standing there, and that's what I'm saying to you.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Daycare provider Teresa Hunsicker is suing former client Veronica Cotton for child care costs after Veronica left her kids with her for 6 months.
Order. All rise. It's case number 120 on the count. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Hunsicker, you run a daycare center?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
I've had a family child care since 1987.
In what year did you first meet Miss Cotton?
2018.
Who introduced you?
I actually received a phone call from my neighbor who is a church secretary, and she said a mom had been calling looking for emergency child care for 4 hours so she could attend a training at work.
That was you?
Yes.
And you have how many children?
2.
Who is this?
My boyfriend.
Is he the father of either of these children?
No.
How old are your children?
13 and 8.
Okay. Without going into a whole long story, you ended up, Miss Cotton, leaving your children with Miss Hunsicker because you were having some difficulties. Difficulties, I don't know what they were related to, whether they were related to substance abuse whether they related to lack of housing. I don't know for what reason, but you left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months.
And in the 6 months, because you brought your children there, then became sort of friends, you were having difficulty, you asked her if she could take care of them for a while. She said yes, and anyway, you left them there. During any of that 6-month period, were you in a rehabilitation center?
No, I didn't need to be.
Were you in jail?
No, I...
6-month period, because that's what this is about. During that 6-month period, how much money did you give Miss Hunsicker for taking care of your children?
To her herself, none.
To her?
None.
To her. And how did you think the children were being supported?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that. I had already given them their clothes.
That's like a father saying to me, I take care of them, I bring them diapers. You know how many times I've heard that? Bringing them food. Did you, let me ask you this question.
No, like filling the grocery.
Did you bring them food on a daily basis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So that means you saw your children every day?
I did, but not breakfast and lunch because they were getting that at school.
So what you're telling me, Miss Cotton, is that you brought your children dinner every day?
Yes.
Is that correct?
No, it is not.
Of course not. Okay. And how much cash did you provide Miss Hunsicker for clothes, taking them to a movie, anything that a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old might need? Cash.
Zero cash.
Zero cash. Well,
they already had everything that they needed.
No,
and
they
I
did.
told her that anything that they needed extra, I would take care of, not a problem.
You took, listen to me, Miss Cotton.
I saw them every day.
Miss Cotton, if what you're suggesting to me is that you weren't in jail and you weren't in a rehab program, that you're suggesting that you saw your children was bringing them dinner, that's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if he was standing there, and that's what I'm saying to you, because there's no difference. They're your children. Where is their father?
In a different state.
For the time that the children were living with you, did you have a child support order with regard to the father?
No.
Why?
Because it had never been served to him. When I don't know his whereabouts, it's kind of hard to serve him.
Were the children ever receiving public assistance?
Yes.
From what state?
Here.
From the state of California?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year did the children start to receive public assistance in the state of California?
2017 for some time, and then 2018 for some time.
When in 2018?
I believe in June until December.
And what happened in December? What happened in December of 2018?
I didn't renew it.
During what period of time did the children reside with Miss Hunsicker? Is not an answer. You should know when your children resided. 13 and 8 resided outside your home. Month and year that the children resided with Miss Hunsicker.
They were over there in October, and she kept them in 2018.
Just a second. So just tell me when she started. October of 2000?
Well, she held them.
Do you understand?
Well, the other judge did. That's why they denied her case.
I'm on a whole different track from you. I'm on a whole different track from you. In what month did the children begin to reside with Miss Hunsicker?
In October 2018.
Is that correct?
October 4th, 2018.
October 1st, 2018.
No, ma'am. October 4th, 2018.
No, it wasn't.
Until when did they reside with you?
May 10th, 2019.
So that means that for at least 3 months that I can count, you were receiving public assistance for the children. Did you turn over any of that public assistance that you were receiving to the children to Miss Hunsicker, who was taking care of the children?
No,
the answer
because
is no.
Instead I filled up her groceries. I put groceries in her fridge, Your Honor.
No, she did not, but she did use her food stamps once to buy 1 gallon of milk and 1 quart of orange juice.
Just a second. I'm not asking food stamps yet. I'm just asking cash. Cash you get...
I didn't receive any cash.
Oh, you said you were receiving both from June 2018 to December of 2018 for the children. And if the children lived with her October, November, and December, then you got cash.
I didn't receive cash. I was working, Your Honor.
I don't care if you were working or not. You just told me that you were receiving welfare
and
for the children. For the children,
the state welfare is food stamps and cash.
Ms. Cotton.
And I was receiving food stamps. I was not receiving cash.
Okay. Well, I suggest that you should find out where the father of the children lived, because whether or not you made an agreement with Miss Hunsicker, a contract with Ms. Hunsicker to provide for necessaries for your children, you as a parent are required under the law of every jurisdiction to provide for necessaries for children: food, clothing, shelter, medical, all other necessaries for children. You're required to do that. Not a stranger. You're required to do that. And you didn't do it. That's what she's suing for. And she's entitled to it. So
I didn't
the only
provide
thing
their housing. That was it.
I don't care. You said you were working. Great. That's your responsibility. Now, let's move forward to your counterclaim. You are counterclaiming her for the return for $5,000 for return of property, the children's property. What property do you allege that she has?
Everything of
yours?
theirs.
What?
She has,
it's not an answer. Let's go. What does she have?
Their Xbox console, my son's bike, my daughter's bike, their scooters, 2 iPads, my motorcycle helmet. She has all of their clothes, their shoes, their undergarments, bedding.
Is what your
toys.
Do you have anything that she deposited her children with you?
I do have the children's clothing. I have been trying since May 20th to get her to join me and sign for them in front of a notary for liability reasons. She has refused to do so. I have text messages showing each and every time I have tried to get her to sign for everything.
This is the answer, because no good deed goes unpunished. I'm going to suggest that you box everything. You live in the same jurisdiction?
Yes, ma'am.
With a police escort. She is going to, at 5 o'clock next Thursday, put the things at 5 p.m. next Thursday. She is going to put all the children's boxed things outside. You have a private house?
I do.
Outside of the house. If you do not pick it up at 5 o'clock, she's going to call a trash and have them removed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
If you're not there,
Thank you.
if you're not there, everything goes. Do you understand? You
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
come alone. That takes care of your counterclaim. Judgment for the plaintiff for the
Fantastic. What about
necessaries
my
for the
items,
children
Your Honor?
in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She is money hungry as well as single white female.
Most of what she said was not true.
God is not on her side, and God doesn't like ugly.
The more you help others.
All parties in the matter of Renison versus Corbisiero, step forward.
Kelly Renison is suing real estate agent Giuseppe Corbisiero for property damage and an injury caused by movers.
Mr. Corbisiero, this is your problem, sir. You have a real estate company.
Correct.
The plaintiff purchased a condo through your company during the negotiation process. You said to her, if you buy a condo through my company, for which you get a commission, what do you get, 5%?
No, it was 2.5%.
You were co-brokered with somebody else?
Yeah, correct. There wasn't.
That's not a, it was a 5% commission. You only got half because you were
Correct.
co-broker. If you buy the condo through my company, I'll throw in the moving. That's what you said to her.
No.
What is it that you said to her?
I said, once you purchase the condo, because you're a single woman, I'm going to be helping you out with the movers that we have with the other company. It's different. I didn't say I'm going to pay for your moving. I said,
No, I didn't say you would pay for the moving.
Right.
I'd say you would take care of the move.
Correct.
And what happened was you sent a mover. Were you one of the movers?
No, I'm the owner of the staging company.
So you're not a moving company. You stage
Correct.
property. And you have a van.
That's my van.
This is van.
Your van.
Yes.
So you stage, it's a whole little business. Moved her, damaged some of her property. That's what happened. And you said, well, she got it for nothing. And, you know, she said the TV was damaged. I bought her a refurbished TV, and they did damage the mattress a little bit, but I had the mattress cleaned, and I even offered to have it sewed. I mean, I read your answer. She said she wanted a new mattress.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your agreement with her was buy it through me and I'll move you for free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you have to move her using people who were unskilled and damaged her property.
And later today,
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kelly Renison says real estate agent Giuseppe Corbisiero owes for damage to her property and an injury caused by movers.
Your defense is she got moved. May not have been perfect, but she didn't pay for it. Right. It got thrown in. That's really your defense.
That's right.
She didn't. Wrong. whether you believe it or not, was if she purchased her condo through your company for which you received a 2.5% commission, which amounted to how much money?
$2,400, I would say.
Okay. And you have your own van. It's your van, so you weren't paying any van. And I assume if you have a staging company that stages apartments, you have other people that either work for you part-time or you pick them up on the street when you need to pick up people. They don't work for you full-time.
No, they do work for us.
They work for you full-time.
They work on, depending on the job, so they get paid per job.
So you do not have full-time employees that work on the books. They're part-time people that you hire per hour as you need them.
No, per job. It's not per hour.
Per job. So you would give them so much per job.
Correct.
Great. I'd like to know how much you gave them for the plaintiff's job. You should have to look at something. No guessing.
I remember. I got it here. So we paid, I believe, it was from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. These guys got 12 hours. They got $240.
So you cleared about $2,000.
Sure, gross.
Your problem is that once you take on the responsibility of moving her, you are responsible for any damage that's caused by the people who moved her. Because but for this agreement, she could have gone someplace else and bought the condo. And I'll move you for free. Well, nothing's free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you have to move her using people who were unskilled and damaged her property. You're not allowed to do that. So I'd like to see pictures of the mattress.
You mean the mattress that was bought on offer up for a couple $100?
I didn't understand a word you said. Oh, yeah, they damaged the mattress. You need a new mattress. You don't have to sew up a mattress. And it's filthy and ripped. All right, do you have a bill for a new mattress? Your new mattress is $4,328.
With tax.
With tax. Judgment for the plaintiff. Listen, if you got your head in the way of somebody moving, that's your problem. You look old enough to stay out of the way of people who are not doing their job. So if you got hit in the head by them, you should have stayed out of your own way.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Great way to get a brand new mattress at the end of the day.
I think it was absolutely fair.
Just to help somebody that's a single woman and do it with her heart. And ended up actually getting sued.
Always go professional.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Maylee versus Russo. Step forward.
Loretta Maylee is suing a trailer that she never moved into.
Miss Maylee, you're requesting the return of a deposit that you gave to Miss Russo for the purchase of a trailer.
Yes.
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What took you so long to get here?
I was trying to get a hold of her, and I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person, so I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Loretta Maylee claims Linda Russo stole her deposit on a trailer she never moved into.
No, you gave her the deposit when?
I gave her the deposit on September 27th, $1,500 in cash.
And the total purchase price of the trailer was?
Was $2,700. I was supposed to give her the remaining balance on the 3rd of October, but when she phoned me, I told her I changed my mind.
Just a second. I want you to tell me what the conversation was when you purchased the trailer, Miss Russo.
$2,700, dear.
Can you tell me why you were going to give her the balance 5 days later?
Because I'm on disability and I get paid on the 3rd, so I was going to give her the remaining balance on that day. But when she called me, I told her I changed my mind.
The question is, if your contract is done, you can't just change your mind. So when did she call you?
She called me on the 3rd. But we didn't have a contract. All I had was the receipt where I paid her the money.
Oh, you just told me you had a contract.
No, not a contract. It was just a receipt.
What you just testified to, Miss Maley, is that you had a contract. You bought her trailer for $2,700. You only had with you $1,500. The reason you were delaying the final payment to October 3rd was that you didn't get your disability check until October 3rd. There was no contingency. The sale was completed on September 27th. That's what you just told me. You just told me that you made a contract with her. You agreed on a purchase price of $2,700. You gave her $1,500 of the $2,700 and said, will you wait for the balance because I get my disability in 5 days and I'll give you the balance. When you didn't come over with the balance, she called you and you said, I changed my mind. And the contract doesn't have to be in writing.
I
Once you
didn't
have
know it was like that.
Well, I know you didn't know it, but that's why you're here. That's what I'm telling you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So now I'm going to move over to you. Do you still live in the trailer?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Who lives in the trailer?
Friends of mine, William and his girlfriend.
Are the friends of yours living there as owners or renters?
Owners. They bought the trailer.
And how much did they pay you for the trailer?
They gave me $1,000 for the trailer.
Well, Miss Russo, it seems to me that what you did was you turned around and you said, I'm using her money and I'm going to sort of give it to my friends for the $1,000. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Well, why did you do that?
I had been in that park just too long, and I needed a change.
All right, it's fair. Anyway, Miss Maley, you lost your deposit because it wasn't. It was a sale. You left it and said, I will finish paying you on October 3rd. That's not a refundable deposit. You can't change your mind. If she had sold the trailer for $2,700 to somebody else, then I would have made her give you back your money because she sort of made obligation to. By the way, what took you so long to get here?
I was trying to get a hold of her. I made phone calls. She just ignored me. And I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person. So I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person. You can't change your mind. She had a closed deal for her property. Okay, we're done here. Thank you very much. Case is dismissed. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Did she sweep up his customers?
I had no idea that this was prior his customer.
He slandered me.
He called you a thief.
Yeah.
But you were.
Next Judge Judy.
I feel it is very dishonest and that she's a terrible person.
It was a verbal contract, and she broke it.
I always get it in writing.
She should learn that you need to get it in writing when you go to buy something.
Her cleaning job came with conditions.
What was the oral agreement you had with her?
For 3 years from the moment she stops working for me, she cannot take any of my clients.
But did she sweep up his customers?
Hal was his client.
Me and Lugina cleaned his house that this was prior his customer.
He slandered me.
He called you a thief.
Yeah.
But you were.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Cleaning company owner Matthew Jaden is suing his former employee, Lugina Horoschek, for stealing clientele from his company.
Order. All rise. It's case number 118 on the calendar in the matter of Jaden versus Horoschek.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Jaden, you are the owner of a cleaning service.
Yes.
And you started that cleaning service as a young man. How long ago?
Approximately 7-ish years ago, around there.
Is that your only business?
No.
What other businesses do you have?
Well, I'm currently a holistic physician.
What kind of training do you do to become a holistic physician?
So I had to go to a school of naturopathy and study holistic medicine.
Where?
Okay, I went to Trinity.
For how long?
It was a 4-year program.
And you graduated when?
I graduated about 2 years ago.
And where do you practice?
At Birmingham Royal Medical. I also practice in, it's called Holistic. It's a new medical office in Royal Oak, Michigan as well. So I'm in 2 separate places as well.
In addition to this cleaning service, you have 2 medical practices. How many people do you employ in the cleaning service part of your business?
On average, usually I keep around 6, 7 employees total.
And how much do you pay them an hour?
They're usually depending on experience, but usually it's around 12 to 17 an hour.
And how much do you charge your customers per hour?
Depending on what they need done, if it's a post-construction cleanup or if it's
It's just a regular cleanup.
If it's just a regular, 55
Weekly.
an hour for 2 people.
55 an hour for 2 people.
Yeah, so it's $27.50 per hour per cleaner. 2 people is $55
No,
an hour.
we're going to go slowly.
Sorry about
Slowly.
that. All right.
$12 to $17 an hour
Right.
is what you pay your employees.
Right.
And you bill your customer for regular cleaning. How much an hour?
It's $55 an hour.
It's your claim that the defendant breached a contract with you who would work for you. When did the defendant start to work for you?
Regina started working for me. It was approximately September of 2017.
Did you have a written agreement with her?
Yes.
May I see it, please?
There you go.
Do you have a signed contract of hers?
I did have a signed contract, and it somehow mysteriously disappeared. It's in the open with all the supplies, but she did sign an agreement, but we also did have a verbal agreement as well.
Would you give this back to him?
Sure.
That may be a contract,
Take a step over.
but it's not her contract because it's neither signed by you nor her. Okay, so now you want to tell me, Mr. Jaden, that you had an oral agreement with her. And what was the oral agreement you had with her?
The moment she starts working for me to the end, until 3 years after she stops, she cannot take any of my, or solicit any of my customers or take any of my clients whatsoever. From that belongs to the company.
Do you recall having that conversation with him?
No, Your Honor.
Well, tell me what conversation you had with him when you started to work for him,
He
if you
told
remember.
me when I started working for him, if I don't touch his customers, and as I knew it was 6 months.
What do you mean as you
After
knew it?
6 months of the customer leaving him, I cannot touch that customer till 6 months afterwards.
Okay. Mr. Jaden, what client do you allege that Miss Horishak took from you?
Okay. So I have...
The name of the client.
The client is Hal.
Is Mr. here?
No.
And how many clients of your companies? Many.
She did at least, she did around 2-3 jobs per day. So 2-3 houses every single day, 5 days a week.
And the one person that you allege that she took from you is this Hal.
Correct.
Now, it's up to you to prove that to me.
Okay, so I'm going to prove it to you right now. So Hal was a regular with me for approximately, it was about 3 years-ish, around there, that we were servicing him every 2 weeks. He would pay $110 every 2 weeks, and we would go there. You know, and that would obviously add up to be, you know, quite a bit per year. But anyways, what ended up happening was that they developed a relationship with Hal. And so, you know, he was involved with their
Who's
church. Lugina and her husband.
Okay, so
They told me. Sorry.
So the defendant and Mr. Noonan developed a friendly relationship outside of their business relationship through church and whatever.
Right. So,
I mean, that's hearsay unless you know that, unless she discussed it with you. But let's say that happened. And?
And what ended up happening was that this is how I found out, was I have a key witness that lived with Lugina.
You have what?
I have a key witness here with me that lived with Lugina. She started working for me in January, roughly, of this year. You know, that's Alexis. She's sitting right here.
That would be you?
Yes.
Yes.
And you live with her?
I did at the time.
Okay. Step up.
Okay.
Tell me your last name. And the defendant.
Well, I've known the defendant, Lugina, since I was about 13 years old. I've lived with her on and off over the years. She has her own cleaning company called Rosemaids.
No, don't look down. Look up here.
I just started cleaning with Matt, and we were just having a conversation generally, and I had said one of Lugina's clients named Hal. I had no idea that this was prior his customer. Me and Lugina cleaned his house under her company, and we got paid. I had no idea at the time that it was Matthew's customer or a previous customer.
In what month and year was this?
This was like the first week of April of this year.
And you started to work for him in what year?
17, sorry.
And when did you stop working for him? Month?
Trying to think.
It was May.
Of 2019?
Yes.
And you and the defendant cleaned Hal's house together, but under her company?
Correct, under Rosemaids.
Okay. Did she pay you?
We both got paid from Hal.
How much did you get paid?
I believe I got paid $50. We were there a couple hours.
Does that sound familiar to you?
It was 45. Yes.
Well,
Your Honor.
do you want to explain to me then how that happened? Because even under your best case scenario, Miss Horacek, Hal was his client while you were under his employ, and as far as you told me, your agreement with him was that you would not, for 6 months after you left, work for any of his clients, which is perfectly reasonable. But his witness says that she worked with you at Hal's even before you left his company. Is that true?
Yes.
Well, you can't do that.
Okay.
And, Your Honor, I do want to mention something. There was no way I would ever say 6 months, because even on that contract...
It doesn't. Don't tell me about a contract that doesn't exist.
She did sign that contract. She saw the contract that she signed.
Listen to me.
Yes.
If I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
Okay, okay, I understand.
Well, I want you to be a good holistic doctor.
Yes.
Okay?
I'm actually a wonderful holistic
just a second. I want you to be a very, very good holistic doctor and listen.
You got it.
The first thing a doctor has to do is listen.
Absolutely.
Good?
Yes.
She has just said that she took Hal while she was working for you. She says she thinks it was a 6-month arrangement. I'm giving to her that it was a 6-month arrangement. What difference does it make? She took your client. She wasn't allowed to take your client during the period of time she did. You got to listen to your patients. All righty. Now, Hal was, say, in 6-month period, every other week, 2 people went in, which is $55 an hour. Did you calculate how much money you would have lost as a result of taking that client for a 6-month period?
Yeah.
How much?
It'd be somewhere around $2,500.
Not a round. I don't do a round.
$2,500.
No, that's a get. What is that?
You have it written down here.
You have to
I
be
had it written down.
I have it written down here.
It was.
Miss Yancey, you could sit down now. How many hours a week did you charge?
About 2 hours.
So that's $110 a day, twice a month, $220 per month, times 6.
1320.
$1,320. That's 6 months. $1,320. That's what you owe him. You can't take his client. What?
Honor, I have a witness because when I was working, I quit. He slandered me in front of clients of his.
He called you a thief?
Yeah.
Well, you were. You stole his client.
But he was letting his old clients I used to do think I'm ripping their houses off.
Okay.
I have a witness to this.
You owe him $1,320.
Your Honor, before you make that, I also want to let you know that she did steal. I have proof of the clinic supplies missing.
$1,320.
Okay. You got it.
Goodbye. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Sure, I have a judgment against them.
I'm just happy that justice has been served.
I think it was fair. She did a good job.
Once a thief, I guess always a thief.
It was one client, and I thought I was in my rights, too.
I mean, it's very frustrating, but sometimes really there's nothing you can do.
Because he was overcharging his customers more money than what it was worth.
Yeah, well, she's lying about that.
I'm going to run my own cleaning company.
She doesn't have a professional bone in her body.
I'm going to be his competition.
Yeah, may the best cleaners win.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Barber versus England. Step forward.
Sherry Barber is suing her daughter, 22-year-old Chelsea England, for unpaid rent and bills and for selling her property without permission.
Miss Barber, this is your daughter.
Correct.
And Miss England, you were living in a mobile home with your father.
Correct.
And the mobile home was co-owned by you and your father?
Correct.
How long were you living in the mobile home with your grandfather?
I want to say about a year.
Who were you living there with?
My grandfather and myself.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim, Miss Barber, that your daughter finally moved out of the trailer at your request and owes you for rent, utilities, and also sold some of the things that were in the trailer that belonged to your father.
Correct.
Did you and your father purchase it together?
Yes, Your Honor.
When?
He's been there forever. In 2002.
Prior to living with your grandfather, who were you living with?
I was actually on the road in the carnival. My grandfather wanted me to come home.
When you came home, what did you bring to live with your grandfather? What did you bring
Just
with you?
the clothes I had with me when I left.
After your grandfather passed away, did you sell any of the property from the trailer?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your mom said you can stay there until I sell it.
Correct.
I just don't know why we're here. I mean, we're talking about nonsense. We're talking about the whole trailer is worth $700. I'm asking you, why are we here?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sherry Barber says her daughter, Chelsea England, owes for rent, bills, and for selling her furniture without permission.
After your grandfather passed away, did you sell any of the property from the trailer?
I did, with her permission.
What property did you sell from the trailer?
Refrigerator. I had to sell to make ends meet.
Well, what ends did you have to make meet?
I have a 4-month-old baby. I was pregnant when I was taking care of my grandfather, and I gave birth about a month after my grandfather passed away.
Prior to that, were you working?
I was working until morning sickness and a high-risk pregnancy caused me to stop, in which case I still took care of my grandfather who was on his deathbed.
So after a brief period of time, you were not working, and you weren't working after your child was born. Tell me about the conversation that you had with your mom when she gave you permission to sell anything in the trailer.
I had asked her to come and get the stuff that she wanted, my brother wanted, and my stepdad wanted from my grandpa's house.
Well, just a minute. Why would you do that?
Because I had just given birth and I wanted, time with my newborn baby without a whole bunch of interruptions from everything else. It had been a month since my grandfather died.
Well, what made you think that since the mobile home belongs to your mother?
Right, and it was actually underneath the understanding that I could stay there until she sold the trailer.
Well, when did you have the conversation?
When my grandfather was still alive. He was a witness to that.
I don't want to hear you witness. Your mom said you can stay there until I sell it.
Correct.
Did you say that she could stay there until you sold it?
I told her she could stay there, Your Honor. I was going to let her stay
there until you... Did you sell it?
It's in the process of being sold.
Okay, how much are you selling it for? Give your daughter permission to sell anything?
No, Your Honor.
What do you think she sold from the trailer?
The refrigerator, the patio set. The patio set was brand new. It was not even 2 years old.
I just don't know why we're here. I mean, we're talking about nonsense. We're talking about the whole trailer is worth $700. So if you had a refrigerator that was almost 20 years old in it, so you had some new patio furniture, I'm asking you, why are we here?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He is the father of your baby.
Legally speaking, yes.
What do you mean legally speaking? What does that mean?
The biological father of my child is deceased.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
February and March rent was supposed to be a baby gift for my son and a birthday present for me.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sherry Barber says her daughter, Chelsea England, owes for rent, bills, and for selling her furniture without permission.
I'm asking you, why are we here?
Because, Your Honor, she did not pay rent. I got the notice from the trailer park with the eviction notice with my name on it, and it says my name and other occupants that the rent wasn't paid, and it was an eviction notice from the place that owns our home.
You have to pay the trailer park. And from what month to what month? When did you move out, Miss England?
Almost a month ago.
Okay, so the rent was from when to when for the trailer park?
February and March I took care of for her so she could be with the baby.
Okay, so what months are we talking about?
May and June.
And how much was the rent on the trailer park?
The rent's $468 a month.
And who was supposed to take care of that? You were living there and you got married.
Correct. I got married.
Just a second. So now you, your husband, and your baby are living...
We weren't married at the time.
When did you get married?
We got married on the 19th of last month.
Okay, but he is the father of your baby.
Legally speaking, yes.
What do you mean legally? What does that mean?
The biological father of my child is deceased. And the February and March rent was supposed to be a baby gift for my son and a birthday present for me.
$936. Is that why we're here?
For that, for the water bill, and for the cable bill that she ran up with my father's name.
In what months?
From February on, for the cable bill, that came up to $821.95 that she owes for that.
May I see the bill?
That's the cable bill.
What kind of cable did you have there?
Comcast. And that bill is resulting of after my mother and I both as a team tried to get the cable bill, and she just never went through with it completely. I was waiting on something for her end.
We're going to always somebody else's fault. You're living there. You have to pay the expenses there. So far, it's $936 and $821. What's left?
We have the water bill.
Which is how much?
Which was never paid.
Just a second, from when to when?
The last payment was made was in January, right after my dad died, and the next payment was the one that I made to pay off the water bill.
May I see it?
Yes. And I have a letter here from my daughter of the money that I gave her for the part of the water bill.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Who did you think was supposed to pay these bills?
My mother's the one that told me she was going to cover it until she sold the trailer. I was never told I had to pay any of the utilities. I was never told I had to pay any of the rent. I would never received a copy of an eviction notice. She ended up turning off the water on me after she called CPS on me, and I do have actually her witness stating that she is the one that called on me, and she said that she's the one that called on me.
Okay, so far you owe your mother expenses when you lived in the trailer with your baby, with or without your new husband. She's not responsible. You're a big girl. You got to take care of your own expenses. If your grandfather took care of you...
I was taking care of him.
No. If he took care... You may have physically taken care of him. You didn't take care of him all the time because while you were with him, you got pregnant.
That was before he got sick. When my grandfather got sick, it was in May of when I first got pregnant. I was morning sickness, and I was the one that lived in home taking care of him.
I got it. You owe your mother $2,852. That's what you owe her. For your living expenses, your husband's living expenses, and your child's living expenses. Those aren't your mother's responsibilities. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He didn't feel like I was going to be able to do the job sufficiently.
How is he discriminating against you? He's giving you an opportunity to work.
You're right, but...
Just say you're right.
Judge Judy.
She wanted my husband before I married him. No, I've been with my husband for 19 years. She even told me beforehand if I left him, she'd pay everything. No. My mother called CPS on me and made my life a complete mess. Between the hot water, done with her, I wanted to move on. Someone took it upon themselves to try to save the baby. She lost that when she sold my son's stuff. It kills me because I watched that baby be born. My rights to her grandson. I'd be able to see my grandson. It's time for us to start over. Time will tell, but I do love my daughter.
I want to know how you got the car.
A boyfriend's troubles put her in the driver's seat.
Why did you put it in her name?
I did not have my driver's license.
And that's alcohol related.
Right.
But it cost him his car.
Were you sleeping with him?
Yes.
That doesn't mean he gave you a car.
He owed me for driving him around for the last 4 months.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Garrett Sakala is suing his ex-girlfriend, Nicole Beck, for the return of a car and the return or value of a car breathalyzer.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 95 on the calendar in the matter of Sakala versus... Ma'am, have a seat.
Thanks, Bert. Mr. Sakala.
Yes.
The defendant was a woman with whom you were involved for a brief period of time. And according to your complaint, during that brief period of time, for some reason, you put a car that belonged to you in her name.
Correct.
And now you want it back.
Correct.
Do you want to tell me when you put the car in her name and why?
I put the car in her name on November 7th because I was awarded...
November 7th of what year?
18. I was awarded the car back in court from a previous girlfriend.
Okay. When did you buy this car?
January 2017.
And under what circumstances did a previous girlfriend have the car?
I was helping her out. The payments were very affordable, $251 a month. She was making the payments, and then the car broke down. She left it on the side of the road, so it got impounded.
In whose name was the car?
In my name. My name.
Just a second. So you got the car back from a previous girlfriend, but the car was in your name.
And it could not be put into my name because I have charges.
Just a second. Listen. I'm talking about the old girlfriend. I'm trying to figure out the provenance of this car. The car was initially in your name when you bought it. Don't shake your head. That's annoying. In whose...
Put it into Mary Jo.
Okay. So when you initially bought it, you put it in Mary Jo's name.
Correct.
And you put down the deposit. You bought it in 2017.
Correct.
And you put it in her name. Why?
To help her out.
Why did you put it in her name?
Because I did not want to have a responsibility of it, and she was going to make the payments. My credit was already good enough.
Just let me see. You put it in her name because it was her car, and she was going to make the payments on it.
Correct.
Oh, well, that's a good reason for it to be in her name. She was going to pay for it, so it was going to be in her name. What happened?
The car broke down 2 months after she had it. It got impounded, and she stopped making the payments. Since the loan
Had
was...
you co-signed on the loan?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. So you were responsible for the loan.
Correct.
And what court gave you back the car?
Sherburne County.
Was that after a trial, or did Mary Jo... What?
Yes.
It was after a trial?
Correct.
And how many months had you been paying for the car?
10 months.
So she was paying for it 2 months?
Yes.
And you paid for it for 10 months?
Yes.
And you were on the loan?
Yes.
How much is left on the loan on the car?
$8,600, I believe.
Now, you got possession of the car from Mary Jo, from the court. May I have that, please?
7th.
Great. And you got possession of the car on November 7th. Now, on what date did you put the car in the defendant's name?
The same day.
And that was because?
The car was in the impound, and I had to get it out of impound. The only way I could do that was to have it in a legal driver's name. I did not have my driver's license, so because I have some issues that are tied up in court right now, and I can't...
Well, that's not an issue. Telling me you don't have a driver's license, so you cannot drive a car legally. Is that right?
Yes.
And that's alcohol-related.
Right.
So you took the car out. In order to get the car out, you gave the car to the defendant to put it in her name.
She offered to put it into her name.
Let me tell you, nobody can conjure up a story like you just told me unless you told her the story of how the car came into your possession. First was with Mary Jo. She stopped making the payments. You made the payments for 10 months. Now, when you were making the payments for 10 months, did you have a driver's license?
No.
Who drove the car?
The car was undrivable. It had to be fixed.
You mean when you got it back from the judge, it was undrivable?
Correct.
When was the last time you made a payment on this car?
Still making payments.
Last time you made a payment on this car?
June 11th.
In what amount?
$251.73.
Has he been making payments on the car?
The payments he's making are not towards the car. They're for a personal loan that he took out to give the money to Mary Jo. There's no collateral. The cars are not collateral on the loan.
Can I see the title to the car? Are you working, sir? Are you working?
Yes.
Who do you work for?
A construction company.
Prior to that, where were you working?
In the oil field.
And where do you live?
Brainerd, Minnesota.
How do you get there to work every day?
I have a friend that picks me up every day because I still don't have a license.
What's your friend's name?
Andrew.
Does he work with you?
He does.
Miss Beck, when you and the defendant were together, did he ever drive the car?
Not the car in question, no.
Any car?
Yes.
What car?
It was a Oldsmobile Aurora.
Whose name was it in?
Friends of his that live in North Dakota, and it had a North Dakota plate. If he didn't drive that, then I drove him around in my car.
Now, I want you to tell me under what circumstances you got this car.
When I met Garrett back in August
Don't read anything, just look at me.
2018, he was already in the midst of trying to get the car back. Mary Jo wasn't paying him under their agreement.
Got the car.
She put it in my name. It's never been in Garrett's name.
She put it in your name for what purpose?
Because she was giving it up. It wasn't hers. She defaulted on making payments to him.
What year car is that?
2012.
So you made no payments on the car?
Myself?
Yeah.
It's paid for.
You made no payments on the car. You didn't pay for the car.
Because it's paid for. Yeah?
Yes.
It's paid for. Why would I make payments on a car that's paid for?
I want to know, listen, very, very easy. Either you get the title back or you don't. I have the title.
I had the title, yes.
No, I have the title.
Well, now you have the title, yes, but I had the title.
No, you had the title. You used to have the title. So we're going to answer my question. I want to know under what circumstances it was titled in your name. Do you understand?
Garrett asked me to put it in my name.
He asked you if you would put it in your name so he could get it out of impound.
And because he doesnn't have a valid driver's license.
And because he doesn't have a valid driver's license.
And because he owed me for driving him around for the last 4 months.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
8.5-hour drive?
Just a second. That's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous. Were you sleeping with him?
Yes.
Then you drove him around. That's what, sleeping with him, drove him around. That doesn't mean he gave you a car.
Yeah.
He didn't give you a car. You understood that you were getting the car titled in your name because he couldn't have the car titled in his name.
No, that wasn't the reason.
No, that was the reason. There's no question. That's what you just told me.
Also, my dad was going to fix it for him for free. That was the other reason.
Just a second. That was the reason because he didn't give it to you. The girlfriend, Mary Jo, put it in your name. That's what you just told me. Mary Jo put it in my name.
Because it's never been in Garrett's name.
Just a second. You weren't sleeping with Mary Jo. She had no reason. You weren't driving Mary Jo around. Do you understand? You're not getting the title back to the car. But you have a problem, sir. You can't have the car in your name.
That's right.
So what do you want me to do?
I brought Angie Sakala, my sister-in-law, to put it into her name. It's family.
The car's not in my name anymore either.
Who's Carolyn?
That's my niece.
So you titled the car in her name?
Because her boyfriend was going to fix it.
Okay. So what I have to tell you is this, sir. Mr. Sakala, you're actually suing the wrong person because the person who owns this car is Carolyn. I don't want to give this to you because I'm keeping this just to make it difficult for her.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
So I'm going to suggest that for the return of your car, I'm going to hold on to this, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to give you an order to take to the DMV that if she sues or asks the DMV for a duplicate title, it's denied. Do you understand?
I understand.
That will slow down the process.
All right.
Good. Thank you very much. Bye.
Can I continue suing for the other items that she has taken from my house? My interlock device?
She says she doesn't have it.
Because she threw it, of course.
To test you whether you're driving and drinking?
Right.
She says she doesn't have it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
There's a lot more to it, a lot more in depth.
Wow, Judge Judy handled it perfectly.
He still owed me, and that was part of the payment.
This girl is no good. I need to just get rid of her.
He held me down and choked me, and another, he pulled a gun on me.
She pulled a gun on me, actually, and I took her to the ground and disarmed her.
Taking care of myself since.
August, I can get my driver's license. I won't have to deal with this.
Take notes. Always have a witness.
Learn a little more about girls before I actually date them.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Moore versus Clark. Step forward.
Dale Moore is suing his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, for unpaid rent and for causing damage to his rental home.
For how long?
February 28th of this year would have been 2 years.
And when did they move out?
They moved out April 8th.
What was their rent?
$595 a month.
What months do you allege they didn't pay?
February, March, and April of this year.
Did you pay February's rent?
We did.
Do you have proof that you paid?
I didn't bring any proof with me. We actually were in the process of moving, and everything just...
How did they pay you? By check or cash?
Both, and they would do it in a drop box at my office.
Okay. Did you pay March's rent?
No, we actually had a verbal agreement that we would do work to the house in exchange for our rent.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, when we moved in, there were a lot of damages to the house.
I don't care about when you moved in. You lived there for 2 years.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My grandmother passed away in November, and that's when we had to take out a huge loan to help with final preparations, which Dale was under. He knew about it.
Not his problem. He's your landlord,
right,
not your father.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dale Moore says his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, moved out owing for rent and damages to his home.
Now, I want to know what you were supposed to do to the house. Well, what was the agreement?
House, and we put up all new light fixtures. We fixed leaking plumbing issues.
No. I don't want to know what you did historically. I read your answer. I want to know when you were moving out in the month of March.
The agreement was... Sorry.
You already told me what you say your agreement was. Had you painted the house before?
We painted our own preferential colors.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes. Had you painted the house before?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Moore let you paint the house before.
Yes.
What colors did you paint your preferential colors?
Well, it was beige, gray, and then our daughter's room was pink.
What room did you paint gray?
Gray was our bedroom, and then the main colors of the house was a beige.
And what rooms did you paint?
Every room except for our grandparents' room.
Whose grandparents?
Our grandparents. They lived with us because they were elderly and couldn't take care of themselves or afford to live out on their own.
How long did they live with you?
They actually moved out with us.
What color was their room?
Theirs stayed the same color it was when we moved in, so white.
So when you moved in, all the rooms were painted white? Just follow where we're going. When we moved in, all the rooms were painted white?
Yes.
And you were repainting the house white?
We were told...
You were repainting...
No.
More selected?
Yes. I texted him and I called him and he said that it was fine. I showed him the pictures of what the beige color in the living room and the kitchen. He said that that was fine to paint it throughout the house. And we got completely done except for little touch-ups in the kitchen.
But you had painted the other parts of the house beige yourself?
Yes.
And you were painting over that?
Yes.
And painting over the pink?
Yes.
And painting over the gray?
Yes.
Okay. Did you pay April's rent?
No, he actually told us that we wouldn't be liable for April. We would only be liable for the 3 days that we were there. Our lights were cut out on April 3rd, and we moved out on April 3rd, and the only thing we were there for...
Why do you think... Let's follow this through. You were a tenant with your daughter, an elderly couple, you and your husband, for 2 years.
Yes.
I have to assume that Mr. Moore, who was not seeking rent for any other months but February, March, and April, that you paid your rent for the entire 2 years.
Yes.
Where were you moving to?
We moved about 5 miles away from the previous house, Dale's house.
With whom?
Well, we moved because my grandmother had passed away, and we couldn't bear to stay in the house any longer. We passed away in November, and that's when we had to take out a huge loan to help with final preparations, which Dale was under. He knew about it.
Not his problem. He's your landlord,
right,
not your father.
Agree. Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You didn't pay February's rent by the last day that you were able to pay it, by February 8th, because you wrote him on February 9th and said, I will be paying February and March's rent. That's not a deal.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Dale Moore says his former tenants, Jerry and Brittany Clark, moved out owing for rent and damages to his home.
Now, so you stopped paying rent?
No, we continued paying rent in February.
How much are you paying rent now?
$400 a month.
So you're paying less rent?
Yes, ma'am.
When had Mr. Moore asked you to leave?
On March 28th, he was asking us when the final day we would be out. And
when did he first ask you to move?
March 28th.
Is that correct?
No.
When did you first ask the Clarks to move?
I never did ask them to move.
When were you notified that they were moving?
February 14th. She sent a text message to give a notice. Yes.
Well, this is very, very simple and straightforward. On February 9th, you wrote to him, hey, just wanted to give you, by the way, on what date was your rent due?
It's not past due until the 8th. So it's due on the 1st.
So it's due on the 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
And past due on the 8th.
Yes, ma'am.
So on February 9th, which is 1 day past the last day you were allowed to pay rent, I just wanted to give you notice we will be moved out by the end of March. Rent will be paid for February and March.
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else we need to do to get back our deposit? I know we need to paint take down the ramp, clean out our stuff. Is there anything else we need? Okay, he said, thanks. Just text when you're out for inspection and return key. So you weren't out by the end of March. Clearly, you weren't out by the end of March.
Excuse me.
You weren't out. You
all of
weren't out until April 8th. You didn't pay February's rent.
I did pay February's rent, and we were told...
Just a second. You didn't pay February's rent by the last day that you were able to pay it, by February 8th, because you wrote him on March's rent. And I know we have to paint. That's not a deal, to paint instead of rent. I know we have to paint. Take down the ramp, which I assumed was for your grandparents.
Yes.
Is there anything else? He said, no, just let me know when you're ready to move out for an inspection and return of the key.
Yes, and when we
Okay, so
we
you
met,
owe for 3 months' rent. That's $1,500.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, can I see pictures? May I see pictures, please, of the damage that you're complaining about?
Yeah. The damage is, and the claim for the damage is just non-refundable of the deposit they have on file. It's because they left debris and trash all in the yard, and I had to pay to get it removed.
Oh, okay, fine.
And
sir,
I'm
listen,
sorry. I was looking
sir,
for
just one second.
Okay.
If that's what it's for, the part of the deposit, did you return their deposit?
No.
How much was their deposit?
$595.
And how much did you have to pay to have their trash removed?
It was over $595, but I think it's fair because I did some improvements to the house afterwards. That's beyond going to accept $595. It was into thousands because I did some improvements to the house. But I have pictures of...
Well, I don't have a counterclaim for security deposit, which you kept.
I understand. Yes,
Got
correct.
it. So they owe you, actually, it's $595. They owe you $1,785 for 3 months' rent. Thank you very much. Judgment for the plaintiff.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
The warning.
Never take in somebody whose own parent kicked him out, which is what you did.
Yes, ma'am.
The regret.
The room was trashed. How did it get trashed?
Judge Judy.
No hard feelings towards Mr. Moore.
She saw through the lies that they were telling.
leaky toilets, cut off valves, broken brick that my daughter fell and hurt herself.
The damages that they say they repaired are the one they created.
Make sure that they aren't slumlords.
Have to start watching everybody and doing more inspections.
Picked as the right person for a job.
The defendant knew that you were legally blind when he hired you.
Yes.
So how did he discriminate against you?
He said that I was a liability.
Then was she singled out?
He didn't feel like I was going to be able to do the job sufficiently.
Give you an opportunity to work.
You're right.
That's
But
all.
at
Just
the
say
same
say
time-
you're right.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
25-year-old Ashley Lee is suing Dr. Carl Robinson for unpaid wages, reimbursement for an iPad, and discrimination.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 90 on the calendar in the matter of Lee versus Robinson.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Who are you, sir?
I am her husband. I'm sorry.
You're not part of this lawsuit.
Yes, ma'am. I was just helping her because she's blind and she can't see. I was just helping her.
You can have a seat for a moment.
Thank you.
Miss Lee, this is what I gather. You were court-ordered to go for anger management classes.
Yes.
As a result of what?
Me and my husband had an altercation, and I physically slapped him.
Were the police called?
Yes.
Was this the first time that the police were called to your house?
Yes.
And did you, when you went to court, enter a plea in that case?
Yes, because it was my first... Sorry.
You entered a plea to what?
No
management.
Correct.
And the place where you went to anger management was a place that is run by the defendant, and the course was taught in anger management by his son.
Correct.
Is what I gather from your complaint. Now, in what month did she come for anger management classes at your school?
I believe, Judge, in January of 2019.
That is not true.
I like that. I like that.
Could you just tell me what month she came?
She came in July.
July of 2018.
That's correct.
And how long was your course there, Miss Lee?
6 weeks.
Did you attend?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
I'll let you for a second.
Okay.
Right now, sit.
Okay.
You attended?
Yes, ma'am, I did. The classes that I did miss, I was charged for, and I paid my courses.
Just a second.
So
That's not what I asked you.
Okay, okay.
The idea is not to pay for it. The idea is to go.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, during that time, were you and your husband living together?
Yes, we've lived together our whole marriage.
And you are legally blind.
Yes, ma'am.
Were you legally blind in July of 2018?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, this is what your lawsuit is.
Okay.
Your lawsuit says that the defendant gave you a job.
Correct.
As an assistant in his anger management school.
Correct.
And that he did two things. He didn't pay you, fired you, and so you're suing him for discrimination.
Correct.
Now, clearly the defendant knew that you were legally blind when he hired you.
Yes.
So how did he discriminate against you?
When we went in for the interview, I told him about me receiving government assistance, and he did not want to sign the documents that I needed in order
You
for
get
me.
government assistance for what?
I received Social Security, and I was trying to work so that I can receive child care to go back to school in the fall.
Just a second. His job did not impact your Social Security.
It would have, but he decided that he wanted to pay me under the table so that he wouldn't have to pay taxes on me.
Just a second. Well, paying you in cash under the table is only valuable to you.
No, it's not valuable to me because...
Just a second.
Okay.
He hired someone who was disabled.
Yes.
Did you have any experience at being an administrative assistant?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Give me the last job that you worked at as an administrative assistant. The last place that you worked.
I would consider customer service as administrative assistance for me personally, but if that's not...
I want you to give me the name of the last place that you worked.
Walmart.
In what month and year?
I've been disabled since 2017.
Prior to 2017, where did you work?
I've done a lot of jobs. I've worked
Okay, so that the defendant, you were disabled. So I'm trying to figure out how he discriminated against you.
He discriminated against me because when I came in with documents saying that I need this in order to go and get child care assistance, he refused to sign the documents that I needed in order because he said that I was a liability and that he didn't want to pay taxes on me. That is very true.
And?
That was
just a second. And?
I personally feel like he didn't want to sign it because he never had intentions on paying me, because I personally feel like he didn't feel like I was going to be able to do the job sufficiently, and because I am legally blind, he was going to...
Then why would... Miss Lee, what doesn't make sense to me... Put your hand down.
Yes, ma'am.
What doesn't make sense to me, madam, is that if somebody hires somebody who is disabled, and if it doesn't work out, how is he discriminating against you? He's giving you an opportunity to work.
The discrimination comes from him not signing the documents.
Oh, well, forget it. Now, next. Now let's get to unpaid wages.
Yes.
From what date to what date did you work for Mr. Robinson?
I started working for him February 18th to March 7th, and I have those documents to show.
Okay. I'd like to see the documents. Your husband can help you.
On my phone, because I didn't get the print off of it, but I do have it on my phone.
Okay.
Would you like to see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, here's the very first day of me working. So this is the very first day, and you can see the date. And then this is the day that he concluded the work experience.
I don't know.
So that's 15 days.
You worked more than that.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I actually didn't work Monday through Friday. I worked Monday through Thursday. But on the first...
Okay. Monday through Thursday.
Correct.
Per week. Right. So in total, you worked 12 days for the defendant. And how much... You could sit down. And how much were you supposed to get paid?
$300 every Friday.
Did you get paid the first week that you worked?
Yes.
The second week that you worked, did he pay you?
Yes.
The last 4 days that you worked, did he pay you?
No, ma'am.
So at most, he owes you $300.
Well, no, because I ordered an iPad that he asked me to order, and I owe an outstanding balance of $1,339 to them. So
no, you told me that you returned it. Don't make that up.
I have to pay for that, and I have the evidence right here that I have to pay AT&T for that iPad and for the service that I used for that month.
We have computer equipment in the office.
That computer equipment doesn't work for my eyesight. I have them, like I said.
Miss Lee, $300 is what he owes you at most.
No.
Now, I'm telling you, okay. $300 is what he. This isn't windfall day. All right. Now, did she work the last 4 days in March?
No, Judge, she did not.
Well, tell me what days she did work in March, because according to the, listen to me, according to the note in her phone, you say to her, I will have your money on Monday when we terminate our relationship. What money were you talking about?
The money for the last 2 days that she did work, which was Wednesday and Thursday. She was out on Monday of the last week.
The last week in March?
Correct.
I wasn't
Correct.
out. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I have the text that said that she had to go to the Social Security office.
I'd like to see it.
And she told me that.
I was still working. Even though I was on the bus in 20-degree weather, I was still answering calls.
That was not our agreement.
No.
I need to.
May I see the email, please?
From the.
I was still answering calls, working while I was out of the office.
Miss Lee, if you're not in the office, you don't get paid.
Okay. And I also have the evidence to show that I came back to the office by 11 o'clock.
She was supposed to have been in the office at 9.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Robinson, did she come back to the office that day?
I don't know, Judge. I have no way of knowing when she came back. I didn't know she had left the office. Didn't come in, so I had no way.
I definitely did come in. I was working that day, and then I asked to leave.
So you came in, and then you asked to leave?
Because I had an emergency, and I came back. Give me a second. I can get it together.
Great.
Yes.
I'll take both, Bird. Yes, she was in the office. She said, I have an emergency with my Social Security benefits, and I need to go to the office ASAP. I'm going to step away from the office for a second. So that was on Monday.
Okay.
Okay, so she was there on Monday. Was she there on Tuesday?
She said she had an emergency with her child, had to go to the ER.
I came back to the office again. I left the office. I'm sorry. I left the office, and I have the messages to show that I got in contact with my husband, and he wasn't able to get the baby. I had to go get the baby from the daycare, and I took the baby to the hospital.
Okay. Miss Lee, so far, Monday and Tuesday, you work part-time. I'm just telling you. So far, Monday and Tuesday, on a 4-day week, you work part-time. And you took care of your, just a second, and you took care of your own personal business. I'm just stating facts. That's what you...
You're right.
That's all. Just say you're right.
At the same time, ma'am, it was times to where I had to leave one office and go to another office in Addison. So am I technically not working?
About Monday and Tuesday. He paid you the first 4 days. He paid you the second 4 days. Now we're talking about the last 4 days that you worked, that you want to be paid for, the $300, which is what I'm wasting my time on this case. But according to you, the Monday and Tuesday of that week so far, you only worked part-time. You were taking care of your own personal business, whether taking your son to the emergency room or going to your Social Security office to take care of your Social Security benefits. You only were providing services for your employer part-time. Now, whether or not you're going to get paid for that is something else. But you have to acknowledge...
I do.
Fine. Then say, I only work part-time on Monday and Tuesday. What about Wednesday?
On Wednesday, she did work on Wednesday.
And on Thursday?
Does he have proof of that?
Why would you want proof of that? He said you worked Wednesday.
Well, I'm just... I thought he said he didn't.
No, he said she said
You're
Wednesday
right.
she worked.
Let me be quiet. I'm sorry.
Well, why don't you just listen?
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
In the memo line of the check, it says, gift from James Enoch to Savannah Harvey. But like you mentioned, this would be...
You don't have to tell me that I'm right, sir.
No.
I'm just telling you that I'm not hearing your counterclaim. Do you understand? Don't waste my time. I have other things to do today.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Lee claims Dr. Carl Robinson owes for wages, the cost of an iPad, and discriminating against her because she's legally blind.
Yeah. He said Wednesday she worked. And what about Thursday?
Thursday, she did work on Thursday.
Okay. And then you terminated her.
We talked on Thursday, and I couldn't get answers because her daycare. Yeah, we talked, yes.
You parted ways on Thursday.
Yes.
Listen to me. Make it easy for yourself, sir. I'm not going to split hairs with you. She did not come to work for a full day Monday. She didn't come for a full day Tuesday. You made a mistake in hiring her. This case is about $300. So with $300, judgment for the plaintiff.
No.
Judge, I have receipt that shows that I paid her for those 2 days.
He did not pay me for anything. That's why
it's right here.
May I see it?
It's right here.
You just seen the messages showing that he never paid me.
Sit.
He's up here.
Sit.
He's up here.
The first
sit.
Hey.
He's been sitting up there for about 10 minutes.
He never paid me. He specifically said, I will not pay you. In the messages he spent, and since he's supposed to
I'm reading something.
Let me get this together. Here you are. Here's the evidence to show that she said he will not pay me anything.
Brought our son to work with you.
I will not pay you.
Ashley, you brought our son to work.
I did bring our
just
son
to be clear,
but it's
Monday
okay.
you will send $220, and Friday, cannot connect on this, PayPal.
I paid her in advance, Judge, there, because she needed daycare.
That was the first week, and you paid me for the first week.
I paid you in advance.
You took it out of my pay.
I paid you in
Stop
advance.
talking to each other.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I read in the complaint, which is why I asked you in the first week, did he pay you anything in addition?
He didn't.
Judge,
okay.
Anything in addition to the $300 wages for the 4 days? You said no.
He didn't. I have the messages to show.
Did he?
He paid me early, and he took it out of my pay on Friday. And I have those messages as well.
Okay. Did you take it out?
Yes, I did. I took it out.
Good.
I paid her the balance of
Pay
$80.
$300. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Why is your excused? You may step out.
I think you have people with disabilities all across the country, and some of them would take a dime, and they're not dishonest people.
It's their personal opinion. I gave my full-fledged heart and
And they're hungry, and they're working every day, and then there's some people who take advantage.
blood and tears into that job. And if anybody doesn't see my integrity, then it's perfectly fine.
Of other folk who try to help, and I tried to help.
And I wanted to make sure that everybody's seen how much of...
On even who you help.
And I'm perfectly fine with what happened.
And I've been helping people for 46 years.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Harvey versus Enoch. Step forward.
25-year-old Savannah Harvey is suing her ex-fiancé, James Enoch, for unpaid credit card charges, wedding expenses, security cameras, and a mortgage payment. James is countersuing for a house down payment.
Miss Harvey, how long did you and the defendant live together?
We lived together since 2011.
And when did you buy the house that you lived in with him?
On August of 2017.
And at what point did you start to plan a wedding?
I was proposed to on Christmas Day of 2017.
But you had been living together for 6 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Keeping house together.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it all didn't work out. And now you want me to try to sort out stuff.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You paid the mortgage on your house.
Yes, ma'am.
You bought a wedding dress because you thought you were going to get married.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And it didn't happen.
Yep.
And you have to say goodbye. And so far, it sounds to me like you're $5,000 ahead of the game, Miss Harvey.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
25-year-old James Enoch for unpaid credit card charges, wedding expenses, security cameras, and a mortgage payment. James is countersuing for a house down payment.
Now, when you bought the house in 2017, did Mr. Enoch put any money down on the house?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much?
$5,000.
When did you and Mr. Enoch break up?
On May the 22nd.
Of what year? This year?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you broke up, did you give him back the $5,000?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay. Now, you're suing him for your wedding dress and some credit card bills.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And he's got a counterclaim because he says, you know, while he paid the mortgage while you were living together, he said he never got his $5,000 back. That was equity in the house. So
I have a letter from James that I would like to give to you.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
That he put down money, you spent money on a wedding dress, you spent money on some credit cards while you were living together, for
Yes.
tires for him, and books for his contracting license, and a mortgage payment that he canceled on your house that he was paying.
Yes, ma'am.
So after you broke up, he canceled a mortgage payment that was due.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's not fraudulent. You didn't want to pay your mortgage anymore.
At the time that he did that, he was still in the home. The payment came...
Do you understand what I'm...
I have a gift letter from James for that $5,000 that he put down on the house.
I don't care. That's because you were a couple.
Yes, he signed it stating that he was never expecting to receive that money back in any
Well,
form.
then you got a windfall. We don't take care of people who live together for 6 years, live together as a couple. He paid the mortgage on your house, which was fine because that was your arrangement.
Yes, ma'am.
He put down the down payment because you intended on living together. That's why he spent the money.
Yes, ma'am.
You bought a wedding dress because you thought you were going to get married.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And it didn't happen.
Yes.
And you have to say goodbye. And so far, it sounds to me like you're $5,000 ahead of the game, Miss Harvey.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You've got his $5,000. You may have spent some money on books for his contracting license and everything, but I wouldn't have sued him. Now, my sense is that Mr. Enoch would not have sued you.
I did not intend to go down that route, Your Honor.
Right. That's my sense, that it didn't work out after 6 years. Everybody paid certain bills. You were living together as a couple. Didn't work out. You went your own way. It was a mistake. Just say goodbye to him.
If I could, Your Honor, I had a cashier's check made out in the amount of $5,000, and in the memo line of the check it says gift from James Enoch to Savannah Harvey. But like you mentioned, this would be.
You don't have to tell me that I'm right, sir.
No.
I'm just telling you that I'm not hearing your counterclaim. Do you understand? Don't waste my time. I have other things to do, too.
I just wanted it to be known she's also suing me for pain and suffering and all those other things.
I dismissed her case. What do you want?
I just wanted to speak on...
Say you wanted to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, you said it. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Mr. Swagger had me sell the vehicle because he owed me some money.
That never happened.
He told me to print up a bill of sale and write his name on it.
You remember that?
No, Your Honor.
Nah.
Judge Judy.
My maid of honor, who was the witness today, was having an affair with James, my fiance.
We had a toxic relationship that was coming to a close. She wasn't happy with the way it came to a close.
I did when I caught them in bed together moments later.
Well, it was actually kind of a funny thing. She's the one that initiated it, the partner swap.
Then leave, and he said, I'm leaving with her, and he has been gone since.
It opened a can of worms that we couldn't close, I guess.
It is. It's going to take a lot of financial struggle.
She hasn't been an angel, and she's done the same, if not worse, to me.
But I will prevail, and I will be okay.
I had no idea she had my vehicle when I was incarcerated.
In for a surprise after getting out of jail.
Mr. Swagger had me sell the vehicle because he owed me some money.
You remember that conversation?
That never happened, Your Honor.
Of course not. Sit down.
Now, a bumpy ride is ahead.
He told me to print up a bill of sale and write his name on it.
You remember that?
No, Your Honor.
Nah.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
LaShonda Virgil is suing her former friend, Donnie Williams Swigert, for the return of money she paid for her car and reimbursement for repairs.
Order. All rise.
Uncross your hands, please. No, don't sit down. Stand up and uncross your arms. Very good. Thank you.
Versus William Swigert.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Bird, before I start asking some questions, would you look up the book value of a 2002 Ford Expedition? Mr. Swigert, for how long were you incarcerated?
Almost a year, Your Honor.
From when to when?
From April to January 1st.
And how long did you know Miss Virgil?
Several years, probably 10 years.
And you were the owner of the 2002, the time you were incarcerated, Ford Expedition.
Yes, ma'am.
Who did you leave in charge of that car?
My son was driving the car for work.
Now, I'd like you to tell me what you know, Mr. Swaggart, about how Miss Virgil got possession of your car.
At this particular day from...
I'm talking about while you were incarcerated.
Oh, I had no idea she had my vehicle when I was incarcerated.
How and when did you find out that she had your vehicle?
I received a letter approximately January 6th from the...
That was after you were released from prison?
Yes, I was released January 1st. January 6th, I received a letter from American Family Insurance.
May I see it?
I didn't bring that actual letter with me, no.
Well, then don't tell me what the letter said.
Okay.
When you got out of jail, where did you go?
Home.
Didn't you miss your car?
Well, the lien company had repossessed it.
Because it wasn't there.
Right.
How much had you borrowed on the car?
$2,000.
Did you ever sign any document that indicated that Miss Virgil had any right, title, or interest in your 2002 car?
No, Your Honor.
How much is the car worth, Bird?
$2,293.
$2,293. Now, Miss Virgil.
Yes.
I want you to tell me how you first got possession of Mr. Swaggart's car.
I bought it from my witness.
From him?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me your last name, sir.
Smith.
How did you come to sell Miss Virgil Mr. Swaggart's car?
Okay, first of all, Mr. Swaggart had me sell the vehicle because he owed me some money for repairs for a vehicle. So I sold the vehicle to her, and it's something that he knew.
Okay, so Mr. Swaggart, who you knew,
yes,
and you had done some work on another car of his?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an
Yes.
answer. And you communicated with him in jail?
No.
Well, how did you communicate with him so that you had permission?
I recently talked to him. I talked to him once about him owing me the money for the car. I mean, for the opening money. So he told me, go ahead, sell the car and keep the money.
Well, tell me, sir, when you had that conversation. What month and year?
I couldn't really tell you. It was
month and year.
Look, it was the end of last year.
And you spoke to him how? How did you have that
A
conversation?
three-way phone call.
Three-way phone call with whom?
With him. He called me on a three-way phone call. Somebody called, he called somebody, and they called him.
And he was in prison?
Yes.
You remember that conversation?
That never happened, Your Honor.
Of course not. Sit down. So you have somebody who you say is going to sell you a car that was worth $2,200 for $500.
Yes.
That's a very good deal.
It is.
And when did you make this very good deal with Mr. Smith?
It was around Christmas of last year.
And when you made this good deal, you gave him $500 in cash?
I sent it through Walmart to Walmart.
And did you get a title?
No. He had a...
The answer is no.
Okay.
You just got the car. And where was the car?
In Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Where? Was it in a house, in a garage?
It was at his house.
And you know him from?
I've been knowing him for about the same length of time I've known him.
How did you get the car from his house?
I got a ride to Green Bay and came and got it.
And then you drove it back to your house? That was in December?
Yes.
Did you drive the car in January?
Yes.
The whole month of January?
Yes.
Did you have an accident in January?
December 31st.
The same month that you bought it?
Probably like a week after.
Which you say wasn't your fault?
No, it wasn't.
Was the car towed?
Yes.
To where?
To... It was in Gurney, Illinois. I forget the tow place.
Okay.
But I have a receipt.
Fine. That's all right.
Okay.
Car was in an accident. How did it come about that you drove the car then the whole month of January?
Because it was just the front right fenders that was messed up and the light.
So you managed to get it out of towing?
Yes.
And you were able to do that without a title?
Yes. I printed up a bill of sale. I spoke with him. When he got out of jail on the 1st, I spoke with him. It was either the 2nd or the 3rd. And he told me to put his signature on the bill of sale and mine and put that I bought it on the 24th. And they let me get it out with that.
He told you to tell them something?
He told me to print up a bill of sale and write his name on there and my name on there.
Do you remember that?
No, Your Honor.
Nah. Oh, whatever. So you got the car out, you wrote up a bill of sale, signed his name, forged his name, you got the car out, and then you drove it the whole month of January?
Yes.
Did you drive it in February?
Yes.
Whole month?
Yes.
Did you drive it in March?
Yes.
Are you still driving it?
No, The last day I had the vehicle was March 23rd.
So you drove it January, February, and March.
Yes.
And for that, you paid $500 for the car.
Yes, I had to do a lot. Yes.
And then what happened to the car?
Donnie had the Kenosha police.
And he got his car back.
Yeah.
Right. Now, not only did he get his car back, but because the accident was somebody else's fault, he got the insurance check.
Yes.
All of which you want.
Yes, and my money for repairs that I put in there.
I'd like to see the repairs that you put in the car.
I have all of my receipts.
Just a second.
I'm sorry.
I just want to see the repairs that you put in the car. Show me.
That's all it is. This is the tow thing.
Well, in February, you did an oil change. It's okay. I don't know what that is. 2 rear lower control arms. What is that?
I don't know. It's some part that goes to the tire to the something. But it won't operate without them.
Well, it did operate without them because you drove them in January and you drove it in February without it.
No.
Because this was done February 11th. So you drove it the whole month of January
Well,
without
they broke. They broke and I had to get them repaired.
I don't know what it is that you want. I'm trying to think of what you want. You had no permission to have his car. This man sold you his station by Mr. Swaggart for this man to sell his car. He decided that Mr. Swaggart owed him some money. He had one of Mr. Swaggart's cars, and he sold you that car without a title, without anything, for $500. I guarantee you that you didn't put insurance on that car when you got it.
Yes, I did.
You did?
Yes.
With what company?
State Farm.
Is State Farm the company that paid on your claim?
No, American Family Insurance did. But I have text messages that he knew that I had the car. He was fine with me having the car. I asked him to...
Oh, well, let me see that, please. I'm actually interested in that. Right now, Mr. Swaggart, you're making out like a bandit. You got $2,000 from the insurance company. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor, 1960.
You got $2,000 from the insurance company. You had a $2,000 lien on the car. Do you still have the car?
Yeah, the truck is sitting in my driveway.
What?
The truck is in my driveway. It doesn't run, Your Honor. It's severely damaged beyond what they said it was.
So what? You got $2,000 for it.
Which I had to pay.
Which you had to pay what?
To get my title, to get the actual ownership of the vehicle. I mean, I still took a considerable loss.
You went to jail and you thought that they had repossessed the car, Mr. Swaggart.
Exactly.
That's why you didn't open your eyes and say, gee, my Ford Explorer is gone. Because you owed $2,000 on a $2,000 truck. You figured... I'm not so sure that he, based upon these emails, that he knew that this car was sold.
He did know. He was supposed to send me an email saying that he sold it to me so that I could try to get the title from the title loan place.
I know. Okay. Okay. So you paid off the car,
Well,
right?
I made a payment. I couldn't pay it off because of the accrued interest during the time that I was incarcerated.
How much of a payment did you make?
$1,500.
And you kept $450 for yourself?
No, I used that to attempt to repair my vehicle, but it was more damage to it than what I assumed it was. I have pictures of the damage if you want to see it, and I also have a report from the insurance agent that looked at the vehicle when it was taken in.
So I have to figure out sort of what's fair.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
They asked me if they could borrow the money. I said yes, but before I did so, I wanted to write an agreement to make sure I got my money back.
Remember that?
I do.
Okay. Did you ever give him back the $750?
Do what?
Did you ever give him back the $750?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
LaShonda Virgil says owes for the cost of a car and repair costs. Donnie is countersuing for car damages and lost wages.
I want you to think of you renting a car for $250 a month for 3 months. That's $750. You rented a car. You had the use of a car at $250 a month. That's pretty reasonable. So don't think of yourself as being out any money. Just think of yourself as renting a car. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Very good. And I don't see how you're out any money, sir, because you have a counterclaim. And I don't see how you're out any money. You told me when we started this case that you had a title loan out on the car. The car is worth $2,000. You had $2,000 out. The insurance company paid you $2,000. And you still have the car sitting in the driveway. So now you have no lien on the car anymore. At least you shouldn't have, because you should have. You shouldn't have any lien on the car because the insurance company paid you a check that's almost the same. So you shouldn't have it, and you still have the car.
I don't have a clear title because
you're in a much better place now than you were financially with that car than when you went to jail.
Not necessarily, Your Honor. I was making
not your necessarily, mine necessarily. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I did know that there was a title lien on it.
I have no comment.
My car broke down and I needed a vehicle.
I have no comment.
Without a title.
I have no comment.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kiefer versus Stagner Cornell, step forward.
23-year-old Michael Kiefer is suing his former friends, 21-year-old Tristan Stanger and girlfriend, 22-year-old Marissa Cornell, for an unpaid loan to fix their car.
Mr. Kiefer, this is your case, correct? Yes. And who are you?
I'm his fiance.
And are you here to assist him with the paperwork because he has problems with his sight?
Yes.
What's your name?
Angel McGee.
Mr. Kiefer, there came a point when you needed a place to stay.
Yep.
Not yep, that's yes. And you knew the defendants from where?
We've been friends for a while.
So you asked if you could move in with them?
Yes.
What was your rent arrangement with them?
There was no rent arrangement when I moved in.
And when did you move in?
February 4th.
Of this year?
Of 2018.
And how long did you stay there?
Until April 14th, I would say.
Of 2018?
Of 2018, yes.
And while you were there, the defendants either damaged their car, they needed a vehicle. Why did you need a vehicle?
For transportation, so I can get her back and forth to work. Not only that, it's just in case for
What
emergencies.
about you? Do you go to work?
I wasn't working at the momentary. I was a stay-at-home.
At the momentary. You weren't working at the moment. You're a stay-at-home dad for whom?
My stepkids.
Her children?
Her children, that I claim as my own.
How old are your children?
My son will be 5 in November, and my daughter will be 2 in August.
And how long have you and Mr. Stager been a couple?
We've been off and on for the past 2.5 years.
But he's not the father of your 2-year-old?
No.
No. Does he always stay home and you work?
No, he's working right now, and I'm staying home.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The 4 of you were paying about $350. How much was his one person supposed to pay?
However much she agreed with him.
Then you didn't pay anything for him.
We did. We paid a lot of money just for him to stay there.
Show me that you paid anything for him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Michael Kiefer says former friends Tristan Stanger and girlfriend Marissa Cornell owe for a loan to fix their car. The couple is countersuing for transportation costs, rent, and bills.
So you needed a car, and Mr. Kiefer gave you $750. On what date did you give them $700? Tell me the circumstances surrounding you giving them the $750.
They had car troubles. Their recent car just broke down, and so they knew that I got my tax return, and they needed another car to get to and from work, and just in case an emergency happened. So they asked me if they could borrow the money. I said yes, but before I did so, I wanted to write an agreement to make sure I got my money back.
Did you write an agreement?
Yes, I did.
May I see it?
Yep.
Yep is not...
Yes, sorry.
Could you show this to the defendants, please? Thank you. Remember that?
I do.
Okay. Did you ever give him back the $750?
Do what?
Did you ever give him back the $750?
No.
Well, then you owe him $750.
I don't...
It's easy. Now, you have a counterclaim. Money owed for transportation, unpaid rent, and bills. The plaintiff came to live with you in February of 2018. Tell me about that. He came. How did you know that he needed a place to stay? Miss Kiefer, I'm talking to you.
Me?
You. I'm looking at you.
I pretty much left everything.
So you never had a discussion with Mr. Kiefer?
About living there? No.
No, only your boyfriend did.
Yeah, and our other roommate.
You have another roommate?
Well, pretty much she's not the owner of the house, but the one that was there when we asked her if we could move in. She was the one that said that he could move in, but it was mainly up to her. It was her choice, because we would just be paying his rent.
How long did you live there?
We moved in around early December, and we left around late April, early May.
Where did you go?
We separated, and I went to my baby daddy's mom's house, and he went to his aunt's house.
Did you ever get back together?
Yeah.
When?
A couple months after that.
Are you still together?
Right now, yes.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This was in 2018.
Yes.
When you left the house, he was already gone. He left on April 14th.
Yeah.
Did either you or your boyfriend sue him for rent?
No. We thought that if we were paying his part, we were helping him with the car, because we owed.
Paying his portion of the rent. He's one person. You're 5.
My rent
No,
varied.
the 2 of you and your 2 children. How much were you paying in rent?
So rent was
That's not a hard question. How much were you paying in rent?
About $350 just for rent, for me and him and the kids.
The 4 of you were paying about $350.
Just for rent, because we split it.
How much was his one person supposed to pay?
However much she agreed with him.
Then you didn't pay anything for him.
We did. We paid a lot of money just for him to stay there.
Well, show me that you paid anything for him.
I can show you the messages that me and her, I asked her how much total that we paid for him.
Can I see what she's talking about, please?
Michaela's the one that let us come to the house.
How much would you say? Hi, Michaela. How much would you say we paid for Michael staying there from January to April? And somebody said, like, $820. Just for Mickey, that includes utilities. Utilities and rent, I probably had about $80 for food. He ate a lot of food. You guys paid for a lot of food, and he ate so much of it. With his food stamps, he pretty much only bought candy. And make sure, okay, you owe him $750. We're done here. Thank you very much. Finished.
Apologies are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Were you sleeping with him?
Yes.
That doesn't mean he gave you a car.
He owed me for driving him around for the last 4 months.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Why?
Because it sounds ridiculous.
Judge Judy.
Suing me for the vehicle, which I was going to countersue him back for all the rent we covered.
Because I've given multiple opportunities to pay me back for what I
all the transportation to his eye doctor to have surgery and stuff like that.
Bought for them, and they decided not to.
Because he had nowhere else to go. He was desperate for a place to live.
He helped me out with a place to stay, but it wasn't really him. It was Michaela.
We turned around and gave him a place to live, and now it's all down.